We are live.
Yo, peeps, what's going on, everybody? It's another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. I am your boy, the Schwantz27. I'm joined in the commentary booth by Sonic the Jester. What's going on, Sonic?
How you doing, Schwantz? How's everybody in chat doing tonight?
I think we're doing okay. So, what the heck are we going on here?
Oh, apparently some craziness. Looks like we have a 2-on-2 action, co-op voice with each other. So you're just gonna have us to listen to tonight.
I hope we can make it as dry as possible.
Well, with how good you are in commentary, Schwantz, I don't think that's gonna be possible.
All right, well, thank you for patting me on the back, because otherwise I'd break my own spine. We are doing a co-op race. It is left-hand side versus right-hand side here. So that means it is Saberwolf and Honeydew versus Christopher Workin and Yakko Wacko. We're doing an Ultros League settings, but this is a co-op race. So the runners can communicate with one another, and I would expect to see one runner sort of start on one path and the other runner start on a different path. And it is kind of difficult if you've never done a co-op race to kind of figure out how much information do we share. Do I want information overload? Is that too much? Is that too little? So we'll see how our runners decide to do that with one another.
It's very true, Schwantz. Have you done one of these before yourself?
I have not participated in one. However, I've definitely been a part of co-op races in other games before, and I've also been a fly on the wall for some co-op showcases that we've done. And yeah, sometimes there's a lot of information overload. You might tell your partner something really important, but they might not care about it because they just have so much other stuff to do.
Very true. I wonder what the correct strategy at play would be here.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, if it was me, I would send one runner to the World of Balance, one runner to the World of Ruin, go get some loot, get some shops, and only tell people things that are like, considered high tier, or maybe, hey, I found earrings here, or go to this shop to get this. And I would expect that, there's not a lot of overlap with our two runners on each team. So Ultros League Season 5 is underway. We are in week 2 of Ultros League Season 5. It's been going pretty good so far. How are you enjoying it so far, Sonic?
I'm definitely loving it. It's a great experience. It's nice seeing so many active people working together. When I first thought of randomizers, I always thought competitive. And yes, it's competitive, but it's a friendly competitive, and it's such a great feeling to be able to embrace it.
Yeah, you get to meet a lot of new people. You get to improve the strategies of the game, and you get to have a lot of fun. Speaking of improving things, Arusta with a 8-month sub from Prime. Thank you so much, Arusta, for subscribing to the channel. All of the Twitch monies that we get, we do use it towards a future donation when one of our community members is running during a marathon. I think we have some ones that are upcoming, but nothing set in stone yet, as we have gotten the all good here in order to start. So we should be starting momentarily here, and
that's good,
it'll be interesting.
Yep, go ahead. Because we see Glue is hungry for some violence over there. Uh-oh.
All right, so we are underway. Go, Strago with Sword Tech and Natural Magic, and Shadow with Morph are our characters here to start us off. So, yeah, I would send somebody to do the awful Strago checks, and somebody else gets to do Shadow's checks. Which one would you rather go for, the Shadow, the Go-Go, or the Strago checks?
Honestly, I think it's a good idea to send somebody into Go-Go. while the other person maybe explores the burning house to see if it's got good checks in there or good fights in there, because then that could be a good time save, to see if Go-Go's even worth it for the other person.
Yeah,
'Cause
so somebody should. Yeah, I agree with you. Somebody should either do all the free checks right away or just go to Gogo's free check right away. I completely missed, by the way, what was that Gal
Oh,
Manor? So if anybody saw it in the chat, let me know.
I missed it, but I saw that sneaky Atmo weapon hiding in the box in the returners. That's a good find right there.
Very nice. So the first 5 to 10 minutes of any Worlds Collide seed is going to be looting and shopping, and with a co-op race, we're probably going to see a lot of different things happening at once. So tracking this is going to be a little bit of a nightmare because we got to be on our toes here. So if I miss something, just yell in the chat. So
Yes, please help us, chat. And I did see a rage ring in the clock in Narsh, so that would be a nice little find. Nothing too special in the shop so far.
yeah, I haven't seen anything really, really jump out at me. Rage Ring will give fire absorption and lightning nullification, which is good. We got some dried meat and some warp stones here. So, yeah, sometimes over communication in these co op races might be a bit too much. So, I think that, keeping it simple and keeping it to the really good stuff that you find and sort of ignore all the other stuff. Here we see Saberwolf heading over into the world of ruins, starting at Albrook. So again, this is another town where there are some treasure chests. You might not go in here all the time, but in a co-op race, you're certainly in there. And speaking of in there and now out of there, Honeydew checking on the Master Pug in that monster in a box, which is rather disgusting. So we're just going to run away from
like that.
Yeah, just dropping a Gratis, which sells for money, I guess is the nicest thing you could say about that. So
Yeah, very true. It's always nice if you have some smoke bombs and steal or capture. You can go ahead and try to get that mega elixir or elixir from him, and then just dip out of there as well. That could be a great help for the tower or early sell.
all right, so we do see Honey here at the Gal Manor, so we'll see what this reward is in just a second. I better keep my eyes on it. Some interesting strats with the Strago start in the chat. It looks like,
check.
yeah, it is a dead check, but it does count towards your skip. You do get 21 checks for skip in the new Ultros League settings, so that's why we have the little checks indicator. That's the imp indicator there. Thunder rods for sale in wherever Saberwolf is. So,
oh, and Saberwolf did find a hero ring somewhere.
Hero rings are always good. They will give you plus 25% to both physical and magical offense. Very nice to have.
And he's got a Genji armor. Okay, so there's some good high tier items that they found so far.
A question from the chat: can the teams tell one another where stuff is? Of course, they are both in separate voice calls, and that's why you see them sort of doing different stuff here. Although our right-hand side team is both in the same spot, and that's because there are a ton of chests down in the basement. There's got to be something in there as Yakko Wacko picks up a flame shield, then an ice rod, then a ribbon. So it totally makes sense why he came here immediately right away. World of Ruin, South Figaro is going to have different chests there for Saberwolf, and we'll see who decides to go where. We already saw our bottom runners head to Gal Manor for that free check, and we'll see if the top runners head to Go-Go for the free check. Definitely want to, I think, with Strago, at least peek what the bottom of Fnatic's tower is. Maybe you don't go all the way up it just yet. But I think I send somebody into the Burning House, and that'll take a while to complete. And then have the other runner, sort of running around the world a little bit here.
Yeah, we have to see if they find any warp stones to try to give them a better idea if they even want to run into Go-Go's check to take the time lost to run out. But they are finding some good items in Figaro as well. I saw a force shield, some earrings, a bunch of elixirs.
Yeah, usually the basement is not going to be something that you're going to skip either way. So I don't hate that both of our runners are there. Both of the runners on the left team are also in South Figaro at the same time. They're just in two different worlds here. There were some warp stones in the shop. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Rista was just saying that is what I was going to point out.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a good call on waiting for Go-Go until you get the Warp Stone, because walking out of there is awful. Thunder Shield in a shop there. So already we have 2 elemental shields up for grabs, plus, as you mentioned earlier, that Rage Ring. So we're starting to maybe think about some Merton protection here.
That's very true. That's already 3 out of 4. They could, depending on if somebody can wear the Rage Ring.
Yeah, and I think I would be hoping for a Cyan in the seed somewhere with Go-Go and Strago both having access to Sword Tech. If you get Cyan and go all the way through the Dream, now you have 2 maxed out Sword Tech users, which is really nice.
Indeed, and I saw Strago had a nice 33 vigor at least. So if he could have that Rage Ring on and get some more strength, that could help.
Big shout outs in the chat for those of you who are fans of Swole Grandpa today. And Workin is actually in Thamasa, World of Balance, so we'll see if he decides to hop into Casa del Fuego, and it looks like that is exactly where he's going. Why not? Especially when you have Go-Go, if you have something like rods, that is all you really need to start off the seed. And look at the flame dodging.
And then he went too far, and it circled back and pincered him in.
Yeah, this fight is particularly stinky because of that. Little launcher action.
It's very true. At least they don't have the it's not the other armor, the heavy armor with the double arm counterattack on death, right? So
yeah, those are bad. I don't know. I think these guys will give out XP. There are certain formations of this sprite, I think, or a similar sprite. Maybe it's the M-Tech armor enemy that doesn't give out any XP. So we want to avoid that state. I think these guys give out XP though.
Yeah,
the problem
right.
is this
M-Tech that doesn't.
This is going to be a tough fight though.
Oh, thankfully they don't have any MP for M-Tech laser, so
okay, so then maybe it's not so bad. The problem is that missile will inflict
sometimes
the sap
seizure,
status.
right?
Yeah. So it inflicts the sap status. I can't speak here. Who the hell made me commentary? Anyway, so hopefully we don't just get tickled to death here. Meanwhile, Yakko Wacko heading to the Velt Cave, 41,000 for that glowing stone, and it is Crusader from Honeydew. So he has the first Esper on the board here.
And with the strength 2 going on Strago, that could help him catch up real good with the damage on his sword tech for later.
All right, so it looks like Workin bought a bunch of potions. Those are the words. So he's going to be fine here in this burning house. Meanwhile, some pugs for Yakko Wacko. So this is also going to take a while, this fight, but the potential is there to get 3 Minervas.
Very true. Very true. And luckily, the other formation inside the burning house, Ralph Joker, it's a quick fight. Yeah, it's not too much experience, but they have no worries at this low level of them wiping from that fight.
Yeah, question from the chat. Most of the sword techs run off of the strength stat. That is correct. There are 3 of them that don't. Well, there's multiple of them that don't. But Sword Tech 5 and Sword Tech 6 will use your magic power. Sword Tech 3 is based on the enemy's HP because it's one of those fractional damage thingamajiggies. Everything else is based on strength, though. Dispatch, Sword Tech 2 of Retort, the Quadra Slam and Quadra Slices, which I always confuse which is which. And Sword Tech 8 will just kill everything on the screen. So most of them use strength. There's a couple of them that don't. Most notably 5 and 6.
Well, let's see. Saber's going to the World of Ruin. Let's see where he decides to. Yeah, they're gonna all go to the Zen Thief. For the Strength 2 Esper.
Yeah, so just like you mentioned, the strength +2 esper, put that on our sword tech user, and that'll be nice. It's slightly cheaper in the World of Ruin, but not by much. 40,000 as compared to 44,000. And the pugs are getting awfully close here. Oh no, and Workin goes into the wrong door. Thankfully, this isn't a bad fight here.
Oh, Sandrain Arenid is really good too. One more pug left. This is getting really scary.
Yeah, he's got this.
It's too bad he didn't have retort yet, because that would have worked really well in this fight.
Oh yeah, because the pugs will basically do physical attacks unless you get them with whatchamacallit, a magical spell. I've never actually seen the pugs get that close to do knife.
Yeah, and it missed too, so that was very interesting. I thought disaster was about to strike.
Do the pugs regenerate their health now? I guess not, no. Because now that
Let's
one's
see if
dead.
he gets lucky. No Minervas. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, but you still get 25 MP, and there was a Minerva.
Oh, he did. It's weird.
Yeah, we must have missed it on the screen. Yeah. All right, and it looks like Honeydew is going into the belly of the beast here. So we got 3 different areas from our runners. We'll see if any of them decide to do something else completely, like floating continent.
Luckily, the boss in tunnel armor.
Yeah, thank goodness this is an easy boss here.
Yeah, low level, he won't be able to break out his big spells.
All right, and there is a shiny stone at the Velt Cave. So this is not going to be our character here. This is going to be yet another Esper.
I wonder if it's going to be here with Honeydew.
Yeah, I think he's going to get thrown off at least once. I don't
think
he's
so?
going. I don't think this is an offer. What do you think, chat? How many bridge throws will we get this seed with the amount of go-go starts we've had?
He's being really patient, so I think he might. Oh, I think he got it. He snuck right by.
Yeah, I am not that patient. You're a better man than I am, Honeydew. Taking his character or his party down to 1 character, so Engulf can take a shorter amount of time. I don't know what Yakko reset to. I didn't see what that boss was. Was it a bad boss? It might have been a bad boss, because he's still only level 3. And he's warping out. He's getting the hell out of Dodge.
Goddess. It was Goddess.
Oh, man. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, this early, we'd be relying on Dispatch to take her out before Love Token, and I think she's still able to throw a Bolt Edge out this early, right?
Ooh, did you see what I saw?
Oh, I missed it.
It's Realm at the bottom of Fnatic's tower.
Oh,
along with an Esper from Burning House with Bolt 2, and another Esper at Gogo's check. So Realm at the bottom of the Burning House is an interesting one. And it looks like Yakko is getting sent into the belly here. So it looks like they will be they'll be getting engulfed because the party's down to 1. And we'll see where Workin decides to go. Saberwolf is in the Casa del Fuego, so he'll get his Esper at the end of it. And Workin's heading up to the floating continent.
Oh, we have Merton and Life 2 and Ice 2 on that Tri-Talk. Very nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was from Zone Eater, I believe.
So now you know that everybody's going to be dipping down to Zone Eater.
Yeah.
With the Merton defense that they found so far and only the 1 more piece, it sounds like a viable strategy.
Yeah, Flare on that as well for getting it out of trouble. That's really nice to see. All right, so far, pretty easy first fight there for our floating continent user. We'll see if Yakko gets tossed off of the bridge here.
Someone's definitely bound to. There we go.
Oh, yeah. That's that impatience there.
He juked him. Now, if you're really quick, you could pop into the X menu really fast to
Mhm.
dodge that quick knockdown. Does that actually work, Schwantz? Have you been able to successfully do that?
It does. It basically, if you press X, the NPCs will go like 1 or 2 steps in the direction that they were supposed to, and oh no! It's a travesty on the floating continent. Level magic's hitting with level 4 flare.
And we
You hate to
have
see it happen.
another travesty at Christopher Walken's.
Yeah, that's where he was. It's
Oh,
oh no, Saberwolf also getting clapped by the Pluto armors there. And it looks like as Saberwolf dies, Honeydew is going to pick up right from his corpse. What a teammate. That's like Scrappy Doo and Scooby Doo. Let me at him. All right, so we'll see if Workin decides to go back to the floating continent here or if we try something else. Meanwhile, Yakko Wacko makes it through with only 1 bridge throwdown. So they're going to pick up their Esper here. Saberwolf looks like he's going to also go, but he has 3 members of his party, so this engulf is going to take just a wee bit longer. Oh, did Workin not save after the burning house? Oh, no.
he did not.
Oh, that's even worse.
I know.
All right, so we're decrementing some counts there.
Yakko did check the far chest in Go-Go's, and it was just a drainer. So very sad.
Yep. Yeah, Flare, Merton, Life 2. Lots of good stuff on that Esper there. Yeah, so one of my biggest pieces of advice to newer runners is save after every check and only menu when you save. So clearly with the save after every check, sometimes you forget. Everybody has been there. I have lost at least 1 race because I forgot to save because I was rushing and I died and I got sent back 3 checks. That's everybody does that at some point.
Yeah, and with my introduction to Worlds Collide being Iron Mog, I have a very big problem with forgetting to save a lot.
Yep. All right, so Yakko is heading into the RNG cave here at Ebbets Rock. This will be some new information for us. So our character is Realm at not Floating Continent, Realm at Fanatics Tower. But this is also a possibility here at Ebbets Rock, where you get 22 pieces of coral, and we also have Floating Continent, but we've seen everything else so far.
Very true. I feel feeling really bad for Walken right now, having to deal with these Pluto armors again when he already went through this expertly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you saw these Pluto armors, if they take the wrong or the right spell on the wrong turn, right? If they do one of their AoE attacks on the first turn, then there's nothing really you could do about it. Honeydew, though, picking up those ice rods, using them effectively there to plow through some of those enemies.
And get his HP pull up quick so that way that he can survive any attack that they throw at him.
All right, and it is, oh no. Ogre Marshall.
This is definitely not one you want to see, Schwantz.
No, this is a disgusting fight here. The Ogre can use up to 2 instances of Zombite per turn, and there's multiple of them. And now Strago is killing his own party. Come on, old man.
Oh, no.
It's the dementia is setting in, folks. Oh, and the Mimic.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a disaster.
Oh, Glue being so kind.
Yeah, so we in Worlds Collide, Marshall is one of like the first early game bosses where you get the Moogle's help, right? But in Worlds Collide, we decided, hey, let's make this boss a little bit harder and not a pushover. And he gets some random ads with him every time. Oh, God. Look at this grind fight. Double Brontor.
Oh, boy. These are fights they are just not ready for yet.
Yeah, Yakko trying to get off a level 3 before taking on the boss, and that's a good strategy, just not with that enemy.
Now, you see, I'd be asking myself right now, what would glue do? And I think I would be selling off some items, going buying a bunch of rods, taking that Brontor fight, taking them down with some rods, getting those levels real quick. What about you, Schwantz?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like doing checks with forced encounters on them to start. So I would have went to either Burning House or Floating Continent first. And we did get unlucky in the Floating Continent, but there's a lot of good rewards up there.
Very
Jesus
true.
the Frog says, if you saw Strago killing your own party, would you do it too? And then Drinks Glue says, at least Strago's killing something. Wow, the Strago slander in chat right now.
I think Yakko's getting really lucky. I saw a bunch of 5 corals there. There's like 3-5 corals in a row.
Yeah, this is almost the God Rock, the God Ebbets Rock. I got one when I was playing a seed the other day. It was 5-1-5-5-1. So, oh no, 2. Yeah. So, and one more 5 after that. So basically, it was almost the minimum amount of turns for me in Ebbets Rock. It was the first time that's ever happened.
I did get a 5-2-5-5-5, but I didn't get the perfect sequence in that right after I got mine, I had like 4 dead switches until I got to the chest, so it was not the God run.
Oh, no!
I was so close though.
Oh, thank God. Gogo has an ice rod and procced it, but thankfully Shadow's got some sort of elemental shield on.
Oh, we still lose the rod though.
Was swinging the rod with the weapon.
Swing. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he
yeah.
used. I thought. Yeah, I apologize. I misunderstood.
No. Yeah, so Fanatic's Tower becomes interesting with Gogo because you can mimic stuff even if it's not in your inventory, right? So you could take those rods into Fanatic's Tower with you if you really want to. That might be something that if I found them, I would send whoever found those rods. I would just tell them, "Hey, go hike it up, Fanatics, kill the boss at the top, and we'll figure it out."
Very true. It could be a very good viable strategy, especially with the levels being so low. You know, those rods will take out their targets as long as they're weak to that affinity.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Marshall, for stopping our zombie character. Look at that, a real pal.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, Honeydew getting through the Burning House and heading over to the Velt Cave, where we already know that is an esper from our right team. And
but the left team does not know it's goddess yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Now, I wonder if Honey will attempt to try to take out the goddess, or if he's just going to immediately warp out.
I think that'll depend on if he has learned Flare yet, because Flare could be very effective against Goddess. Goddess, very high magical defense, but Flare will cut through that.
Very true.
And since they have Go-Go...
really low.
Yeah, since they have Go-Go, they could just mimic the Flare over and over again. Yes. All right, 1 Ogre down, 1 more to go. And that's just Marshall. But Marshall, oh God. I guess Yakko does not have any Revivify here. And Honeydew is saying no thanks to this fight.
Yeah, I definitely beat feet out of the Pugs fight anytime I come across it. You know, I might try to throw out a steal or two just to see if I get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But it just never seems worth it. It's a huge time sink.
Clutch block there for Yakko on that charge. Here comes another one, and there goes Strago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is... You know, I paid for the whole seat, but I only need the edge. As Workin gets past his Burning House again, and so does Saberwolf on the second try for him. So,
and as Arista was pointing out, Schwantz, you see the near synchronicity in their kills on that tunnel armor. They were frames apart.
Nice. Oh, Strago. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge there. Nice job. Just kill him, please. Just let Marshall die here. Oh my goodness. Hey, another block. Oh, and the ice rod proc. And that still hasn't done it. So this is why a lot of runners try to get off a level 3 before they take their first fight. Otherwise, it takes forever. Especially when so the enemies are level 8 at this point. It is Doom and not Goddess. Yeah, that is still awful either way.
Doom.
Alright, so it looks like Honeydew is using Morph. What are they going to do with it? A fire spell. Oh, and it looks like there is a character at Ebbets. It's Mog.
Oh, very nice. It's always great to see Mog. Let's hope he has a good ability.
Yeah, so nice perseverance there from Yakko Wacko, taking out Marshall and those Ogres. So now at least Workin knows, hey, before you go into Ebbets Rock, get some Revivifies, dog. Otherwise, it's going to be a knock him out, slag him out. So that was, I think, like a 6 or 7 minute time loss there for Workin forgetting to save before Floating Continent the first time. We know that this second mob is going to be the level magic, so we're going to have to watch out here for this one. With the new version of Worlds Collide, with the changes that were made with version 1.4, it's now the case that all of the encounters are normalized across all of the runners. So these encounters are going to be the same every time, and they're going to be the same for every runner.
And it's very nice for that to happen. You know, it's always sad when your opposing racer gets Gigantos and Light River, and you run into level 30 magics.
Yeah, no thanks. All right, Saberwolf finding the pain and suffering that is the Ogre Marshall fight here, but at least he is not on level 3. However, that also means that his Go-Go is going to do way more damage to himself now.
And if you notice, the Ogres really like Go-Go for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you see he tried to bite the Go-Go again?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So 2 bites is or rather, a team full of zombies counts as a KO, so we don't want that. And I think that's GG there.
Did he just netted Shadow? Oh, no.
Yep, that's a GG there.
Oh, no.
F's in the chat for Saberwolf. Meanwhile, we've got a little... I don't even know what the hell this would be called. Vanilla Bean?
Toilet Atma flying around the airship.
It's not French vanilla, because this is the Atma in the toilet. But it is close to... It's the Floating Continent, check. Yeah. Saberwolf there contemplating life, and he decides, every time they try and let me go, they keep on dragging me back in. So he's going back, folks.
You know, they did get lucky with the tunnel armor fight in the burning house, but these other bosses have been rough.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wonder if Yakko's going to have any luck up here on the top of Narsh.
Did you see who was that Kefka at Narsh?
It was our favorite buddy Gaw.
It's our wild child. Ooh, wow, it's Gao. Phase 2 here for Honeydew. So Doom will get the reflect and the image status in Phase 2. Thankfully, Dispatch doesn't care about that, but he was using Fire 2 with Shadow earlier in this fight. He's not going to be able to do that anymore.
And then
unless he wants just pain and suffering. I'm sorry.
See a Golem at the Lone Wolf check Schwantz.
Ooh, okay.
And Lone Wolf was holding a Minerva, so it was a good thing he picked that Nitrocite. So now we have our commons protection.
Yeah, Minerva is nice, and remember, we can always go pick that up in the World of Ruin next to the Moogle Mines all the way in the back there, if we want to go grab that. And that will count towards a check, too. So if we're sitting maybe at 20 checks, we could get to go pick up that Minerva, and then we'll get to 21 checks and have skip.
And now, Schwans, how advisable do you think that would be with us already having 3 pieces of Merton protection? That could easily be the 4th, if one of the runners, if one of our party members could wear it. That is.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we did get past Doom, and it was the Shiva Esper there for Honeydew. Saberwolf, so far it's Ogre Marshall 3 and our runner's 1. Yikes. Speaking of yikes, we're still going with Toilet Atma here at the first floating continent spot. And Saberwolf looks like he is going to be joining that party in the sky.
And what a party is it going to be when he sees that level magic fight?
Ooh, a little berserk action there on Shiva. That's a nice utility spell to have in case you run into the 2 bosses that are susceptible to berserk.
Very true. It's always great to have that in your pocket in case you run across MM. Oh, and it said it had quick too, right?
Yeah, so quick gets learned at a 1x rate, so that's a spell that is nice to have, but we're not going to have it for a while. Workin gets past the first boss, and that means we're going to get a story time heal before this next boss, and oh my god, this one is ugly too.
And we get some nice Zombones, though, up at Narsh, so that's some good experience for Yakko to get, using his game knowledge to revivify them.
And Saberwolf says, thanks, but no thanks, level magics. I'll catch you next time. Insert gif of that kid giving out the peace sign and then disappearing. Let's see if he's going to go for Soldier Skip. Oh, wow. There it is. Very nicely done. And here's another boss that stinks. Wow. All right, so Mog has Vanilla Dance, by the way. I didn't see exactly what dances he has. I don't think we know. But yeah, a couple of bosses on the right-hand side of the screen that are not good for untargetable offense with Sword Tech for multiple people.
Yeah, this is definitely a slog of boss fights right at the beginning of this run.
Yeah, so in Worlds Collide with Rexol, we do not have that zinger concept, and we did that just because if we ever find Rexol in Kefka's Tower, if you fight him with one of your parties that has one good character and one meat shield, and Rexol inhabits the good character, that fight is basically unwinnable. So we decided no zinger, just defeat him the normal way. But that also means we can't do the vanilla speedrun strat of just using Odin or Raiden to kill everything on screen.
Very true. Yeah. It does make this fight a little bit more strategic and tactical.
Yep. So Rexol is not Rexol. Haydn is weak to both Pearl and Fire and Earth, believe it or not. So if you've got one of the 3 Earth spells in the game, you could use that on Haydn.
Or the Tarato Esper, right?
Or the Tarato Esper, yes. So Honeydew using Tritalk, then mimicking it, but Go-Go gets zombied. Oh no. Oh, thank God. The target was not changed, and I think Honeydew skating past. Shadow is zombie, nice. Go-Go is zombie. That was almost awful.
He pulled that through very well.
Yeah, so that was almost the sweep of the Honeydew Saberwolf duo.
Now, one thing I do always find scary on Christopher's screen is when you take out all of Haydn's minions, he powers himself up and can cast some extra abilities. Now, luckily, he's low enough level that I don't think he can cast Grand Train on him.
No.
But, do you know what abilities he could cast at this low level?
That is a great question for the wiki, so I'm going to head over there in just a second here, as Yakko Wacko does get through Kefka at Narsh, and that means that he's going to pick up his gal.
Runic Capture Gaw. Oh, no. He will take him over Go-Go, which is pretty surprising with Sword Tech. I would think...
Yeah, Gogo. The problem with Gogo is that Gogo's stats are not
Pretty
exactly
abysmal.
great. Yeah, so maybe that's what he's banking on there. It's a
Yeah,
Phoenix Esper at the top of floating continent here.
Ooh, HP plus 100% with break.
HP plus 100 is nice if we have somebody with a offer other
Valley
thing.
Knife or
Yeah,
offering.
yeah, that thing, those things. All right,
Valley
so
Knife or Apple Weapon.
yeah, so at lower levels, non-elemental, which is what Grand Train is classified as, can do Shockwave, Heartburn, or Stone, or level 4 Flare. So Stone is particularly awful.
Okay.
Then at level 2, you get even better spells: Blowfish, Rage, Cockatrice, Quasar, Flare, Wump, Meteor, Landslide, and that's where Grand Train comes in.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah, it gets bad rather quickly in the non-elemental category. Meanwhile, we have our first Mog check of the seed. Okay, a second Mog check of the seed, right? Because we just did Lone Wolf.
That's correct. Yeah, we had
And
Golem off of the first one, and here we're gonna get either an item or an Esper. So let's see if Yakko decides to take down any of these werewolves.
oh, Yakko has one Revivify and one Phoenix down.
And Honey finds a Ragnarok in the chest at the top of the Fanatics Tower, which is very nice.
That is nice. That
Won't
is
do us
also
much good
that's
up here in
also
the tower.
considered. Yeah, that's also considered a check, believe it or not. So we're going to give him another mark for a check. And one Phoenix down, but two dead guys for working here. This is bad. Does he have a tent? Oh no, he went with the reset.
Oh no. And then
Does
we
that
have the
does that mean
Stooges.
does that mean that floating cont did he? Oh no. Okay. Okay. He saved at the beginning of floating continent. Thank God.
And we have the Stooges down at Mogul Defense, and then
Ugh.
Narapa up at the top of the tower. So that's a nice one to actually go against the top of the tower
Yeah,
with limited magic.
those piranhas are not bad, and we have ice too. So this Three Stooges fight shouldn't be terrible, but you hate to see the Delta hit happen.
Oh,
Thankfully, Shadow is wearing some sort of instant death protection. All right, taking the monster in a box again, and this time
comes
getting the Tiger Fangs first try. Yeah, so with floating continent, I actually save. Well, it depends. If I'm going in the monster in a box, then yeah, I'm saving at the beginning. But I almost exclusively save right before you get to the second part, just because this walk all the way back is just completely god awful.
very true.
Saberwolf again. Those Ogors has Saberwolf's number. Call him
It is a
maybe.
rough fight. It is one. It is somebody that I hope the Marshal never has.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'd much rather him have retainers than Ogors.
Well, retainers, you could at least be prepared for getting instant death, right? Like
Exactly.
it's only the counter attack. So you take them out one at a time and you leave Marshall for the end so you can get your whole party back up. Ogres are just brutal because they can attack with Zombite up to 2 times per enemy per turn. And it
Yeah,
looks like
so
we're gonna get a dragon fight here for Honeydew. Since the boss at the top wasn't a big deal, he's gonna fight this dragon here.
and it's a dirt dragon. So I'm not sure what level he learns Quake. We should be pretty fine here.
Mo being mean for Yakko casting Reflect on himself, so that's fun. Thanks there. And it looks like Honey
The
is going
Stooges
to
have been.
use Tritalk yet again. Why not? It worked
We get
effectively
a
the
clutch
first time.
interceptor block.
And
And we
there it
find
is.
Shoat down at Moogle Defense.
Nice. Mog and Gao
And
didn't make it out alive, but that's okay.
then we find Tritok over here at the Atma weapon spot.
Interesting. Yeah, so Saberwolf, knowing from his partner that there's a Ragnarok at the top of this and the boss isn't too bad, decides, forget it, forget Ebbets Rock, I don't need Mog, I'm going to go get Realm instead. So this is one of the nice things about, running this co-op, right? Is now Saberwolf knows that I don't have to keep banging my head against this wall anymore.
Very true. And Realm hopefully will have a better ability and some good magic power stat.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Fire 2, Ice 2, Bolt 2, and Flare. I think Yakko either forgetting his Moogle Charm or is doing this on purpose to grind, but he also doesn't have any more Phoenix Downs either. And that is the first dragon down with an Atma weapon for Honeydew there.
Did you see what the dragon drops was?
Yeah, that was an Atma weapon.
Oh, very nice.
So far, none of the people in our party can naturally equip that Atma weapon, but Mog can, so that's what Mog will be doing towards the rest of the end of the seed. Meanwhile, it's an offering there at the second part of the floating continent. And I think even it doesn't really matter what Realm's ability is. I think just having her magic power at this point is better than what we have with Gogo. Yes, if we find Cyan, then 2 Sword Tech users would be great. But at this point, we already have 5 characters. The chances you're going to find Cyan is not that great going forward, right?
That's very true. And with Realm only having her 2 checks, most likely only having 1 character at her checks, it's pretty slim chance that we'll find him based on how many characters still remain. Now, knowing that, and with Honeydew knowing that Mog is a Atma weapon equipper, do you think Saberwolf's going to go back to try to get Mog?
I wouldn't put that kind of PTSD on Saberwolf anymore. I think
he's skipping the dragon fight altogether. I think he just ran by it.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't need it, he doesn't need it, right? Like, he also has less espers than Honeydew has, so maybe he doesn't have the same amount of spells to be learned. So that is a possibility also. Working, by the way, on the second of 2 forced encounters here at the floating continent. We'll get 1 more boss, so we'll see what he's got. Arusta saying he already has an Atma weapon from a chest and returners. Don't need the second one. That's very true as well.
I mean, that is true. Atma offering is good, especially if you have a nice shield. Though Atma, double Atma Genji offering could be amazing, but only if you have really good defense, right?
Yeah, I almost never use Genji Glove 2 Atma weapons just because it does much more damage with full HP, right? It loses damage if you don't have full HP. And if you don't have a shield, then you better have either a Snow Muffler or a Minerva. Otherwise, you're going to get beaten up a little bit. Speaking of beaten up a little bit, go down on the ground there for Workin. And we'll see what the last boss here is at the end of the floating continent.
And Yakko Wacko going in the Velt, so we'll be able to see what... Oh, and he gets it right off the bat, and it's a lock.
Nice. Where the heck is Lock in this tracker? There it is. All right, so Yakko already has 6 characters, is now just looking for espers. So this is where Yakko is going to start to zoom, because he already knows that some of the checks that he has not done yet have espers on them. And Locke's check in the World of Ruin to go to the weapon shop is also one that can only reward an esper an item.
Very true. I wonder what our pathing is going to be for everybody. As you called it, Yakko is definitely going there. And then we have the cranes here at the end of the floating continent. So we'll be able to see what our reward is here in a moment.
Yeah, so if in a co-op seed, I also think if you find a character that your partner doesn't have, you go do those checks immediately, because then you could relay to your partner, hey, go get Locke and then go get this awesome thing, right?
Very true.
Which is why Honeydew is going to do Mog stuff to let Saberwolf know, hey, you might have to go get Mog because I found this, that, and the other thing.
I actually love this fight down here in the bottom right corner with Yakko Wacko. You get a lot of experience here.
Yeah, you just got to be able to survive Behemoth's counterattacks, and it's a Rage Lock, I think. So that one's nice. Carcass will give us Bolt 3. That's a nice Rage to have. That's really the only one I see in here that's worth using.
And we got Seraphim off of the Floating Continent with Cure 3, Remedy, and Haste MP10.
All right, so now Yakko Wacko knows, hey, if I go up to the Floating Continent, I'm going to get 2 espers. So that's something for him to keep in the back of his mind. Saberwolf is immediately heading to Jador for Realm. So I like the strategy from Saberwolf and Honeydew to split off into the new character checks that they found. Honeydew sees Gao at the top of Kefka at Narsh, and we'll see what he decides here at the top.
Very true. This allows a lot of divergence as well. Gives him some more opportunities for answers.
Drinks Glue mentions in chat, since Locke has the Rage ability, he cannot use the Atma weapon, which he normally can, and that's due to a bug that's in the game's code. If you try to use Rage with an Atma weapon, your game will crash pretty much. So that's why we have, yes, that's why we've disabled Atma weapon usage with a Rage user. I think it's because of the way that, you know how the Rage has, when you do an attack, it kind of mimics the monster's attack. That sort of collides with the Atma weapon's special animation for getting bigger and shorter depending upon how much damage you do. So that's...
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty gnarly, actually, that we discovered that that was the case. So
that's a really interesting confliction there.
All right, and Yakko Wacko picking up his 4th Esper there from the weapon shop. Stray over a Force Shield. Absolutely, all day, every day. Let's do that.
Really poor with just Rest and Ice 2. But
yeah, Ice 2 is good to have. I think we already have an Esper that teaches Ice 2 somewhere, because I've seen other runners use it.
Yakko is going to show us the Cursed Shield, and we'll be able to see how many encounters.
Yeah, so the Floating Continent was 2 Espers and an Offering. I didn't see the Curse Shield counter, damn it. I was just looking at his screen, too.
It was only 6.
Okay, it's a little bit late in the seed for that. But if you're going to use... If you know that you're going to have an Atma weapon user, that is a good thing to try and uncurse, because that will help you keep your HP at max.
Very true, and they did find a ribbon earlier, so if they didn't sell it, that's an easy equip.
Oh no. Workin did not count to 22 properly. That's a feels bad. Alright, so painting the picture at Jador is a merchant. So this is going to be either an Esper or an item. A question in the chat, Nobody War, asking, was this seed gated behind Gao? We haven't seen all of Realms checks yet, so we haven't seen Esper Mountain. If Esper Mountain is not a character, then yes, this seed was gated behind Gao. And is that Magimaster? God, I hope not. No, it's not. I was going to say, for Saberwolf's sanity, I hope that is not Magimaster. Alright, so Honeydew taking down Kefka at Narsh, picking up his Gao, that's his 6th character there. With Runic and Capture, I think he's going to stay on the bench.
Yeah, especially with Mog and Realm in his party.
Yep, so we'll see if Honeydew decides to go right to Moogle Defense, and it looks like he is. And again, we know that this is an Esper from this fight here. What was the boss here? It was a pretty difficult boss, wasn't it?
I can't
Was it
remember. I
Haydn?
apologize. Oh, yeah, I think it was Haydn. Wait, no, Haydn was in the floating continent.
Hmm. Anyway, that is
Did
just
you
the
see the
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok? Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. You did
Yeah.
see it. The Ragnarok in Jador. I apologize.
No, it's all good. So if somebody can use the Ragnarok, you said that there was a Genji glove in play somewhere from a chest.
No, no, I said if they could find a Genji glove.
Oh, okay. All right, so Saberwolf into Esper Mountain, and that is Cyan.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that is spicy. Because we do have a sword tech user with Strago, and we have Gogo as well, who could equip any command essentially to their menu. Unfortunately, Yakko Wacko is going to try to do the Velt check, but he has 4 party members in his team. So the thing about the Velt check is you need to have 3 or less party members to get the reward. Otherwise, the reward's not going to show up because you need a slot in your party to accept said reward.
And I've definitely done this before.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate here. All right, Flame Eater is the boss here at Esper Mountain. So I have to imagine, Sonic, that if you're Saberwolf, you've been struggling in this seed with this fight specifically that Christopher Warkin has on his screen, that you're going to go straight to Cyan's Dream in order to unlock your Sword Tech users all the way here.
Oh, definitely. And I'm sure Saberwolf's feeling happy for such an easy boss fight. Just a nice little respite.
All right, so this is our Mog play here from Warkin, getting his 4th character. And that is a Magitech Cyan. So if we find Celeste, we can unlock Cyan's full potential. Otherwise, Cyan is going to ride the bench. Because that 23 magic power, it just ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, it always feels bad when you find a Cyan.
Yeah, I think Yakko Wacko is trying to both uncurse the shield and get Gao's reward at the same time. Oh no, you're right. We already got Gao's reward, right? It was Locke on the Velt?
That's correct.
Okay, if that's the case, this is a terrible spot to do that because you're not going to get any XP from any fights on the Velt.
Yeah, I wonder what Yakko is doing.
Yes, you are right, chat. Thank you for pointing that out. There is no experience on the Velt. You do get magic points, and you can uncurse the shield, but this is not a good way to do it. Maybe he just feels that he's that far ahead of his partner that he has to kill some time here. But yeah, just for those of you watching at home, you don't get any XP from fights on the Velt, so it is a bad place to grind for anything other than the reward.
Yeah, you really only want to take as many fights as I can to make Go appear, or whoever will.
All right, so we talked about it just a second ago here, Sonic. Saberwolf into Cyan's Dream will get his Sword Tech users online when this is done.
I think this is a really good play. Let's just hope he gets a good boss here.
Yeah, or the second boss, because if you save in Cyan's Dream after the first boss and you can't beat the second one, you're stuck in here.
And that never feels good.
No, that's awful.
Luckily, it's just an Air Force. The Air Force, though they can do their crazy barrage of launcher followed by atomic ray. But
yeah, launcher followed by any AoE is basically a thanks for playing. All right, so that is the Pugs down. Unfortunately, no Minerva dropped from that. Yeah, I think if you're going to grind to get the fights done for the Paladin Shield, at least take the Moogle Charm off on your way to your next check.
Yeah, that or take a check with some grind fights in it.
Did he go through the Burning House yet? I don't think he did. So that there could be a perfect place to unlock your curse shield.
But, Saberwolf finding a flame shield at the beginning of Doma Dream, so it doesn't feel too great. And then there's the Setzer.
All right, well, that's at least his 6th character without having to go back and get Mog. Right? Saberwolf's just like, thank God I do not have to go against those those Ogres again. Please, game, anything but Ogres. All right, so Honey is going to pick up Cyan, and I wonder if he's going to go through the dream, knowing now that it's both a flame shield and a character. Do remember, we do have a Kefka Tower skip at 9 characters, so he's going to get at least character number 7 here with Cyan.
Very true. And Yako's still on the Velt, and now getting confused by the Brontours. This could get really scary.
Yes.
Oh no, and Strago quadraslams, but luckily he hits himself first.
Yeah.
Breaks his confusion.
That's the only time I've ever been happy to see an old man beat himself up. All right, it's Delt Cave here for Workin. Going to get his Esper Shiva. I think Shiva was the one with a bunch of good spells on it. No, that was Carbuncle.
Carbuncle, yeah.
Okay.
But I think Shiva did have, what was it, Quick?
I don't remember.
No, that was Stray, I think. Yeah, it's hard to remember.
All right, so Saberwolf here is going to... Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say what you were going to say. Go ahead.
No, you go.
We're about to find out, and it's Funbaba at the throne of Doma.
Ugh.
Oh boy. Luckily they have ice. And he's going to ice and flare to take him down.
Yeah, no bio, but flare will do the job. And 2 out of 4 party members frozen there on the Doom fight. And one of them with Mog is using Dance. So essentially, Workin is just down to 1 character here. All right, so I think we have finally uncursed this shield. Yes, we have. There we go.
That'll be really nice for the end game.
Yeah, especially since we know that Mog could use the Atma weapon, even though Locke cannot. All right, so it looks like we are going to hit the bucket here. I think Yako has got to go find some Phoenix Downs. That should be his number 1 priority, given how low of levels his characters, are compared to what his scaling is. His scaling is at 20, and I saw one of his characters is level 13.
Oof.
Question from the chat. Do you learn Ultima in this setting? Yes, you do. So having uncursed the Paladin shield, it will now start to teach whoever's wearing it Ultima at a ×1 rate. It also costs 254 MP per cast. So that is going to be problematic, as we'll probably get maybe 1 cast out of a user before they have to refill magic somehow. Thanks, Blowfish.
And Honeydew's running up to the top of Narsh. I wonder if he's going to take down the dragon as well. It only makes sense because he doesn't have Amaro.
Yeah, if you're here, you don't want to just go for the Esper. You need additional incentive to go up here.
And he finds his Storm Dragon.
Yep, we got Bolt too. So this will be all right.
Luckily, it only opened up with Wind Slash and not Arrow.
Yeah. All right, so there is Saberwolf unlocking all of his sword techs there from Cyan's Dream. And Yako going way deep down the rabbit hole here in a Phoenix Cave. Another Esper on the Doma throne, at least for Saberwolf. So he now has 4.
And Modern with a Bolt 3 is very nice.
So apparently Setzer has Natural Magic and Throw. Throw plus Go-Go, or Throw-Go, as I like to affectionately call it, is one of my favorite combinations. Love Throw-Go.
And his stats aren't too bad, 35-30. And if you could find an enhancer, that would help increase his throw damage a little bit more.
Yeah, it's also one of the reasons why I like to buy just a ton of shurikens beforehand anyway, just in case I run into somebody with throw. Or a lance there for Honeydew. I don't know if we have equipment for our jumper, because Mog would certainly be able to use that.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody finding a dragon horn or dragon boots seed so far yet.
Yeah, so chat pointing out, Phoenix Cave late always feels kind of horrible. However, since we do have a skip at 22 checks, you could defeat the dragon, which is 1 check, and then get the reward, which is a 2nd check. So it at least makes it a little bit more worth the time investment here into this.
And it did look like he was going to try to learn Ultima, so this could give him half of his advancement towards it.
That's a really good point.
Boom, we find Inferno at the Tritalk spot.
Yeah, this is not a fun fight here.
Luckily, his HP pool won't be too high right now.
Yeah, so there you see Yakko taking the doing the tent glitch, which is it's considered a glitch, I guess, but we allow it. Where if you have one party on a save point and you don't move with your other party, you could heal them up, and that's a nice hero ring in the chest. Remember, Yakko also needs to get levels because some of his party, he's not even at 1,000 HP here. So I like this play of going to grab this dragon here.
Yeah, some of his people were only level 22 from what I saw, so that feels really scary at 1 hour.
All right, so we're climbing up the tower to go get Realm here. So it looks like there may be a path through this seed without having to go through Fnatic's tower to get Realm, because I don't think Yakko has Realm yet. Correct?
That's correct.
Oh,
he finds a Skull Dragon. Luckily, he's got a bunch of fire spells.
Yeah, here comes Delta Hit. When you have Infernos and all 3 parts up for more than 3 turns, Delta Hit is a possibility that will happen. Ifrit, the Esper there, from the Kolinginin, one of Setzer's checks. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to throw in that shop. Bolt Edges, Fire Skeins, and a dead check there for Honey. Oh, it's Dragonhorn, though. So if we had those boots and we just got that lance, you could have had the Pogo special there at the top of Norsh.
Very true.
All right, Yakko taking out the dragon there in the Phoenix Cave. We'll see what the reward is besides actually catching up in levels a bit. All right. I think he already has Burnt Protection, but if he doesn't, then he definitely does now.
Yeah, he definitely has it. I saw a Flame Shield, a Thunder Shield, a Paladin Shield, and a Minerva.
And we got Flying Octopus. Flying Octopus in the sky there for Saberwolf. So this is only an Esper or an item check, so I like him doing this here. That will get him towards his go mode, because he does still need 4 more Espers here.
And he's rewarded.
Oh, there's some boots in a relic shop that Honeydew is in.
And it's a Fenrir, so now we have Fenrir
Nice.
and Golem Schwans.
Very nice. Honeydew, by the way, just creating himself a God Mog build with the boots and the horn. And it's another character in Phoenix Cave with Celeste. Well, since Yakko already had 6, didn't really want to see a character, but you know what? Celeste is a pretty good one when all you need is espers, because the Magitech Factory, the first 2 checks, are only esper item, and there's that really quick free South Figaro prisoner check. So not necessarily a terrible pickup there from Yakko. Honey, meanwhile, despite having 7 characters, is heading into Cyan's Dream here. So he's going to get his 8th character, his 7th Esper, and a Fire Shield.
Which always feels bad this late. And here we go, running into Daryl's tomb now. So we'll get to see another check down here, Schwantz.
Zone Seek is in the South Figaro basement, so that is Esper number 5 there for Yakko.
Oh.
Dirt Dragon is down there on Workin's screen. That was the one in Fanatic's Tower that drops the Atma weapon.
And then Zone Seek just had safe in bio, so
yeah,
it looks like he wants Shadow to learn that.
Yeah, thanks for that game after we've already fought Funbaba. All right, so not Owzer's Mansion, Daryl's Tomb here. You can read what the inscription is on the tomb before you go do this check. If I'm Saberwolf and this is a character, I just reset here.
Very true. And since they already found the offering on the floating continent, and do you think they're going to even check the monster in a box?
I don't think Saberwolf went to the floating
continent. And he finds a Gigantos, which could be a huge help to get some much-needed levels.
Yeah, Saberwolf did not go to the floating continent to go and get his stuff. However, he did do Cyan's Dream, so he could use Sword Tech 8 here in order to use Cleave and just end this fight right away. Yeah, I think Saberwolf got killed on his way to whatchamacallit, the place you just said. Floating continent. There
Floating continent, yeah.
All right, so Workin here grabbing that Ragnarok at the top of Fanatic's Tower, and is going to have to beat this boss. Thankfully, it's just the piranhas and go all the way down. That is Phantom on the tombstone, so that's good for Saberwolf. So Setzer's checks coming in huge this seed with 3 espers. Nice.
And some good espers too, Schwantz. And then Saberwolf is taking a breath of fresh air as he comes across Leader, while Yakko comes across Guardian at the Ifrit spot in Memtech. Not feeling too great there.
Yeah, especially it doesn't look like he has that lightning magic that some of our other runners have found here. So this is going to be a bit of a longer fight. And Saberwolf, in spite of all of his struggles, is our first runner to 7 espers here. That's a nice esper there. Speed +2.
Yeah, he's catching up on his checks quick too.
All right, so we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes into the seed, which is a bit of a long one for an Ultros League seed, don't you think?
Yeah, Galoo was saying earlier in the chat that he feels that the cross communication might actually slow down the thought processes from naturally tackling the seed. What do you think about that, Schwantz?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because you're going to do stuff that you might not normally do, right? You're going to say, hey, I'm going to go check out Thamasa and Albrook, whereas normally you just wouldn't do that, right? So that is interesting. I think that definitely can ring true for sure.
I'm also wondering too if their number of chests increased based on how many they normally open, based on what their partners found and told them to go open up more chests.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, if me and you are running, right, and you tell me to go to 3 towns and I tell you to go to 3 towns, and then all of a sudden there's something in each town for both of us that we should go get, now we're visiting 6 towns, right? Instead of just the 3 that we had. So I can easily see this exponentially increasing the time And it looks like we got our Merton online in the lower right-hand corner of the lower left-hand corner of the screen, rather, on Funbaba. All right, so
Saberwolf prepping to take care of the Storm Dragon, but we'll see who it is. The Gold Dragon, ooh. But he does have Berserk for it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to help.
I think he's just going to go for the quick kill and not even bother wasting time berserking it.
Yeah, Berserk would certainly help not annoy the heck out of you with all of the magic casts that happen. All right, so that will be 8 characters, 7 espers for Honeydew there. And he's already at, I mean, I thought it was 18 checks, but his tracker says 19, so he's at 19 checks already. Just needs 2 more for Skip, and he needs 2 more espers, so therefore, Honey is going to get Skip.
Yeah, I wonder where he's going to go to try to get these last 2 espers.
Well, maybe that's why he got Setzer, right? Because he knows from Saberwolf that Setzer has 3 espers in his checks. So why not?
Very true. So you can search the skies right now.
Meanwhile, we get to see what is at the end of Mount Zozo. Oh, the shiny thingamabop.
It doesn't look like a pretty star.
If it wasn't on the ground, then yes. Glowing stones are available in the auction house.
Christopher Walken's gonna roll the dice.
Ugh.
He got so not so lucky with a 50,000 GP deck of cards.
Those are some expensive cards, my friend. All right, and Saberwolf apparently has 16 checks, so I'm bad at pushing buttons apparently here. Yakko does take down Guardian finally. I didn't see what the reward was there.
I didn't either. I was looking at the top left at Saberwolf's screen. I apologize.
All right, so now that the $50,000 pool is out of the way, there's a 50% chance we get the Esper and a 50% chance we get something we don't want. There's the 50% chance.
And Honeydew just got the skip unlock Schwans.
Yep, so that is go mode and skip mode there. Meanwhile, it is Welk at the Doma Siege spot. That's another Esper there at the auction house.
And Ramu has Cure 2 and HP 100. So that's pretty good too. I think they already had Cure 3 on an Esper though, so that HP 100 will be a nice little bonus.
Third Ragnarok, by the way, was in Mount Zozo. I did not see what it was at first, so thank you, chat, for keeping us honest here. All right, let's see what Saberwolf gets here from Doma Siege. This is a new check for us. Hey,
Bahamut.
There we go. All
right, so Saber just needs one more Esper.
So let's take a look at his tracker and let's see what he can do or where he can go. Abbott's Rock is a character. Velt Cave he hasn't done yet, and that is an Esper, so I'm gonna guess that's where he's gonna go next. Unicorn is the reward there at Magitech number 2. Teaching Ultima.
It always feels bad to see Ultima on an Esper at the end of a seed.
Alright, so Honey's our first into Kefka's Tower here. Saberwolf will be following shortly. As I mentioned, he's going to head to Velt Cave because he knows from his partner that this is an Esper. And Workin here heading into Owser's Mansion. I don't know if this team has that info. And it looks like Yakko Wacko's heading through the minecart ride here.
Tech.
This is guaranteed to be either an Esper or an item. Esper character, rather. Sorry.
We find Doomgaze over at the Guardian spot. Luckily, he misses with his level 5 Doom.
Yeah, the math checks out. And it looks like we're going to be using Sword Tech 7. So Sword Tech 7 ignores your physical defense, of which Doomgaze is very high, both physical and magic defense. So that's a really good ability to pull out here on Doomgaze.
It's some great game knowledge there by Honey.
Using the X potion here. I probably would have opted for Sword Tech 5 to get off an attack at the same time, but yeah, that's fun. Thanks, Doomgaze. Love this fight.
You hate to see that. It's like, take anybody but my main damage dealer, please, Doomgaze.
Yeah. As Drinks Glue says, fun fact about Doomgaze, he's a jerk. Yep. The jerk store called and they ran out of Doomgaze. Alright, so here's Sword Tech 5. It basically will heal you and damage the enemy. Well, heal you and restore MP and damage the enemy.
Which I think is one of the best things about it. The restoring the MP part.
For sure. It means that your Sword Tech user should never die unless Doomgaze is a jerk.
Which he is.
Yeah, of course.
Full disclaimer.
Yeah, full disclosure.
He's taken quite a few of my Iron Mog runs.
Yeah. You hate to see it. But yeah, so Empower or Sword Tech 5, as I mentioned, was one of the ones that's based on your magic power. So if you have a person with a relatively low magic power and you need a lot of health back, you might not gain all of your health back because it will only do damage for, based on your magic damage formula. However, Honey gets through it anyway, even though his Strago's looking a little worse for the wear, but he can rectify that in the next fight right afterwards. A Ragnarok is the dead check in Owser's Mansion.
A lot of Ragnaroks floating around this seed.
Yeah.
You're always happy just to find one. Nobody more
so
shouting out for Saberwolf.
Yep. There it is. Finally gets his go mode there. Now however, he only has... So he's got 18 checks. Would you go for skip at this point? You only
I think I would. I would
more.
run the opera, especially with the levels that's needed. I'd run to the opera house real quick, then drop in, kill Toilet Atman and Gold Dragon spot.
Yeah, it's too bad he's already bought the Zen Thief. That would be something I would go get, right? Because remember that is considered a check. I don't know if I would sit through the Opera House for it, because Opera House is also considered a check. So, oh god, look at this second statue spot. Ugh, it's Magimaster. So I know there's Berserk on one of these Espers somewhere. I don't think that Honeydew's party knows it though, and that's going to be a problem. We do have Sword Tech 7, which is great, because Sword Tech 7 will ignore Magimaster's insanely high physical defense.
Very true. And I think Strago has a Minerva on, so he's not at any danger from Magimaster dying, except for the double doom that he'll occasionally do at the end of his fight.
Yeah, and there he goes. That's Magimaster down for Honeydew.
And look, Saberwolf did. He ran to the opera, finds the ice dragon hiding there.
And then gets immediately frozen, but with half his team, because that's how the seed has been going for him. Meanwhile, Christopher Workin is going to get his 6th character, and Yakko Wacko getting through Magitech Factory. That was an esper at the end of that, so that is going to be esper number, I believe, 7 for him.
But then Saberwolf using his game knowledge to Merton to unfreeze everybody. It was a very nice move. Well, now we're about to find out who's at the goddess location.
All right. And I think that's our last Ultros. No, we've seen 3 of them, but not 4 of them.
Now, is this Ultros 1 or is this Ultros 2?
Yes. No, Ultros 1 is the one without the tentacles. So that's just the face. Ultros 2 is usually a pincer attack. So that means you'll have 2 characters on his left and 2 characters on his right.
Gotcha. So that's
Ultros
how you know you
3
can
is
sketch it.
Right. No. Ultros 3 is the one that you could sketch. And that one won't be a pincer attack, but you can see his tentacles. And then Ultros 4, he'll be pushed very far forward so that Chupon can swoop in from behind him. So that's know your Ultroses, people.
Know your Ultroses. It'll help you out.
And Realm just sets her team on fire because that's what she sort of does. She's like Milton from Office Space, setting the building on fire. I set the building on fire. It's my one good impression of the seed you're going to get. Saberwolf is dropping in with his party overloaded in the 2nd slot, so I think you are absolutely correct here, Sonic. We're going to overload party 2 and do the Atma spot and the dragon here.
And I think that's a great play by him. You know, it takes about a similar amount of time depending on how quickly you can take down the bosses, plus you get the levels, the high tier items. It could really give you a boost in Final Kefka if you feel like your offense needs it.
And somebody call the History Channel. We are finding Bigfoot in the South Figaro Cave. That is Umaro there for Yakko Wacko. So he almost has character skip. Needs to find 2 more espers. I'm sure that based on the checks that he has done versus his partner, he could find those last 2. And the last boss in KT, nope, this is not the last. Yes, it is Senor Behemoth. But we also have, so Toilet Atma was on the floating continent, and now we have regular Atma in Kefka's Tower. So they just traded places today. Strago eating a marsupial to the face. It doesn't taste very good.
You know how it is, Swan. Sometimes you just want to change the scenery.
I believe he has my stapler. Pop quiz from Drinks Glue. Which Ultros can you cast Stop on? I think it's 3.
Man, I've never tried.
Or trick question, it's all of them. It's
I just take them down.
I just destroy. Yeah, so if you go to FF6worldscollide.com and you click on our wiki, in here is a boss weakness spreadsheet, so I'm going to look it up right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's 1, 2, and 3. There you go.
Honeydew stepping on the switches at 124.26 about.
Nice. Saberwolf getting an ice shield from the Atmo spot. So Ultros 1, 2, and 3 are susceptible to stop, and so is Chupon, but not Ultros 4.
Gotcha.
Interesting. All right, well, do you want to call it here? Guessing game? How long is Honeydew's Kefka fight going to last? Put your guesses in the chat. I'm going to say 8:41. What about you?
You know, they do have a decent offense, so I'm not going to guess too low. I think you guys are about right. I'll go with 903.
903? Okay. All right. Well, this doesn't count towards the time This is what happened was
Oh no, what happened?
he must have put the corpse of somebody into the party on accident.
And it happens.
Yeah. All right, so Saberwolf picking up his last dragon and his 21st check for KT Skit. So he'll be joining his co-op pals shortly.
And that puts him at level 40, which is great.
Oh no! Oh, shh. Oh no! Because we know what's about to happen, folks. And we won't spoil it in case you just got here. But you can kind of take a guess.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, that is true. He has the information. So he has the information from his partner, too. And it's still going to happen. Maybe he's just not thinking about it. All right, 1:26:44 is the official start time for Kefka here for Honeydew. Meanwhile, Workin is getting through their first part of Cyan's Dream here, where they will get Setzer, and that will lead them to 3 more espers, so they'll be at go mode shortly.
And they'll definitely have a breath of fresh air after that, because once they find that Search the Skies, Fenrir, I'm sure they'll feel a lot better.
Not Setzer. Strago getting bodied here for Honey.
Yeah, that long arm really doesn't like Setzer.
No. All right, so Final Kefka is 4 different tiers. If one of your characters dies as you beat one of the tiers, you lose them going forward. In this first tier here, the long arm is instant deathable, so that's why we saw Cleave. And the face is weak to fire, so that's why it is getting lit up. It'll death counter with Quake if it's the last one alive, so we don't want that. Meanwhile, Yakko Wacko taking out the Tritok at the top of the cliff, and he will get his nothing. But since he has Yeti, he can actually dive down here into Umaro's cave, and we can see what this check is here, Sonic.
I've been honestly waiting to see what's over here. I love the Yeti check myself. Nice, it's quick. Get a monster in a box that's not too far out of the way.
I think the best part about the Yeti check is you can warp out of it when you're done.
Very true.
Although, what I usually like to do is I like to take the dragon last, so you're kind of like backtracking a little bit, you know? But if this is not I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can see that understanding in case you get 2 good espers in a row from Tritok, then you go back to the dragon to learn them.
That is exactly what I do. All right, so tier 1 down for Honeydew. Took him 2.5 minutes to do that. So thanks to Strago getting just punched in the face early on, that took a little longer than normal, and here comes disaster for Saberwolf. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, and you could see him pausing too. Like, damn it, I even knew that, and I forgot.
All right, so that is Starlet there from the Yeti Cave. Yeah, so Saberwolf's going to have to take off the Moogle Charm here. Honestly, I never think about Doomgaze until Doomgaze happens. Same. But that's the thing, right? Like, Doomgaze happened, so...
Every one of my Iron Mog runs, if you go to my Doomgaze fight, you'll hear me...
Yep.
Just hold my breath until I see the mist or my party's dead.
Yep.
And it's always a very sad occurrence.
Yeah. It's not something you think about all that often. And that is a Merton, and we got some levels gained for our 2 characters. Very nice. Bada boom, 41. Now Doomgaze, come fight me, bro, and we'll be good here. All right, so Honey has got the morph on Shadow. Let's see if he tries to pull off what is called the permamorph glitch, where if your morph bar runs out as you're transitioning in between tiers, your character will stay permanently morphed. And that's just the way the game checks for statuses. You could also be permanently asleep or permanently stopped or frozen. So it's better to be permanently morphed than any of those other things, though.
Yeah, it could work out very poorly in your favor or very beneficially in your favor.
All right, so that sets are there for our right-hand side with the natural magic throw, and that is immediately going into the party.
And there's Hit being taken down by Honey, and his 10 hits coming out on his death counter.
I think Saberwolf would have just put in an FF glue if he would have run into some Ogres in a random encounter there. That's just evil. All right.
And there's Saberwolf looking for his Berserk.
Another Esper there on the Doma throne. According to his tracker, he has 6 Espers. How is that even possible?
Saber, I must have put. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Saberwolf doing the Merton for the opener here, because your first attack against Magimaster always should be your strongest elemental spell, and here is Bahamut summon. This is a good heads-up play here. He'll be fine with Bahamut plus Sword Tech 7.
Very true. As War was pointing out, is that Saberwolf doesn't have Shiva.
That makes sense.
Or he doesn't have Berserk.
Yeah, it's sort of a spell you tend to overlook because it only has 2 very specific, very niche usages, but when you need it, it's really nice to have.
Very true. If I saw Quick Berserk, I would definitely put it on at least one person in my party. Because it is always great, especially if you go up Fanatic's Tower, to Berserk one of your physical attackers. So that way you don't have to worry about them casting magic while in there. It does have more than just the Magimaster fight in my eyes.
Interesting tactic here from Yakko Wacko. Knows that Realm's at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower, yet is going up here anyway. Maybe looking for that skip to get his 9th character. Meanwhile, we are hitting the snail in the Gru hole, and that is not advised.
I wonder if he did it to come up to get the dragon and the item in the chest. Maybe Atma.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. But there are certainly faster ways than doing this to get a dragon and a Ragnarok. Right, we've seen a few of them in this seed so far.
Very true.
And I believe he got one as well. So Honey, I believe, pulled off the permamorph because Shadow is still morphed, and it's been an entire tier 3 there. Very nicely done with Fenrir, getting the Calmness coming out, with Strago doing Sword Tech 7, pushing through that 10k damage barrier real fast in one turn.
Now, it was a very quick tier 3 too, Schwanz. A very good execution by Honey.
All right, so we're getting an Ultima here from Yakko Wacko. So the big blue bubble coming out.
Making quick work of good old Rizupas.
All right, and Saberwolf stepping on the switches as well. So our left team is going for Kefka, and our right team is still looking for their go mode.
It's too bad they found Setzer so late.
Yeah, where was Setzer behind? So Setzer was
Hidden in Cyan's Dream.
yeah, so and Cyan was where the hell was Cyan?
Where was he? He wasn't. It
Was
was
he at
gone.
Esper
Kefka
Mountain?
Narsh. Yes, Esper Mountain. That's right.
And then Realm was Fnatic's tower. So yeah, he was buried a little deep within the seed here. All right, so Kefka will cast Fallen One if you do less than 30,000 damage on the first turn, but Honeydew did more, so we're skipping that and we're heading right into Fallen One here as Shadow is cracking skulls with that Ragnarok.
And Nobody War said Saber Wolf started at 136.04. So
All
if
right.
we want to get our times in, now would be a good time to put your predictions in.
Meanwhile, unfortunately, he was not able to push through with Goner here. And just going to yeet the Flame Shield. Is going to do Quadra Slice here. This is going to be another 12 or 13,000 damage. He's got to be careful because this is Ultima counter territory. But Honeydew
He cracks it.
getting through 1 hour, 37 minutes, 5 seconds is your official time. Get your GGs in the chat for Honeydew there, as I forgot to put him in the name of racers, like an idiot. So let's rectify that situation now. All right, so remember, we are doing a team average, so this race is not over yet. It depends on if Saberwolf can finish in second, then obviously the left team wins. However, if the other team miraculously somehow comes back and grabs yet some more espers and some more good things through Kefka's tower, then it will be our right-hand side team winning. All right, so what was the final battle time here? It was...
I think Chad is saying 10:21.
10:21 is exactly correct, yes.
Let's see, was anybody close?
Yeah, it was getting dangerous there with the ultimate counters. So we had a couple of 9 minutes and change ones. I think 9:33 was our closest.
Yeah, everybody thought he could keep it under 10 with the offense, but the hiccups, they always create unwanted shenanigans.
That's
Luckily,
what we're here
we
for,
had no
shenanigans. All right, and the high tier item in the auction house is the Thunder Shield. We know that because Yakko Wacko's about to buy it now, or ignore
It's always
it.
nice to see an elemental shield there.
Yeah, so in Ultros League settings, the Esper is always at the 20,000 tier slot. So the Esper has a 50% chance of showing up after you buy that really expensive item. And it looks like we're in the wrong world here for Christopher Workin. Or did he forget to activate Lone Wolf? Because I've certainly done that too.
I just did it yesterday. It always feels bad.
Yep.
And that's too bad because he does miss out on the Esper, which would have given him his unlock.
Yeah. Instead, he'll have to do it at Moogle Defense.
Which will put him at 19 checks.
Is that true? Yes, that's true.
I think he said 17 now.
Yep. I was just making sure I didn't bork his tracker.
Now, Yakko resetting the auction. What is your strategy here with the auction, Swan? Do you think it's quicker to reset or to just go
Yes.
through?
No. It's quicker to reset. Especially if it's an imp robot.
Is that 2 imps in a row, or is he...
Well, so the mistake was buying the $10,000 item, because that makes the imp robot and the other $10,000 nothing come up more. So the auction house basically works where the highest item is the $50,000 one, and that shows up 50% of the time. Then the $20,000 esper will show up 25% of the time, and so on down the line. It's another coin flip with each item, so on and so forth. So
Gotcha.
the imp robot at first is like 6.25% or whatever it is. And the imp robot jumps up to 12.5 if you buy the $50,000 item. But that also means your esper is 50%. So it's a coin flip. So after you buy the $50,000 item in the auction house, go and save outside, come back in. If it's the esper, buy it. If not, just reset. That's sort of the strategy for Ultros League flag sets anyway. It's different, obviously, with different flags.
Understood, because some seeds have 2 espers at the auction house, right?
That is correct. Some have none. So why are you even in there?
Now, Yakko
Saberwolf chucking the Ragnarok at chucking the Ragnarok at sleep. Hey, listen, if you can't take the items with you, you might as well use them. All right, so Yakko is our first into KT. Did we get a look at the levels here? All right, Realm finna die, but everybody else will be okay. I wish you could buy characters at the auction house. If you play an Archipelago seed, you can potentially buy characters at the auction house, which is a multi-world seed.
That's very interesting to even think about that.
Yep. Yeah, the normal like item restrictions don't apply in multi-worlds because you could literally, there's a setting that you could have called Treasure Sanity where you could get espers and characters in treasure chests.
Oh boy.
Which makes for a terrible race because everybody's just walking around opening up chests. But, you know, it's something you can do if you want to.
It almost forces you to 100% your chests.
Yep. Yeah, so Treasure Sanity will send items back and forth between the runners, but it could be any item. So I could be sending you a leather hat, and you could be sending me an offering, right? For example. And that's not only in chests, that's also in checks as well. So it feels real bad to do Fanatic's Tower to get a to get a rename card at the bottom for your partner.
Oh boy. Yeah, that would really, really hit you in the gut.
Yeah. Yeah, not fun. You can do it though. It is an option. Second Ragnarok throw of the seed there for Saberwolf. I like that he's just like, screw it, we're killing this guy.
And there we go. Yakko actually brought the Yeti into the tower, and they successfully took down Doomgaze.
There we go.
And what do you think, Schwartz? Do you think this Quadra Slice will take him down, or that Thunder Shield?
No, it's going to be the Thunder Shield. Otherwise, we're getting goner.
Oh, wait, one more Merton.
I mean, he might kill one of his teammates, but it doesn't matter if you win the fight. There it is. The
Very
last
nice.
Merton. 1:45:06 is the official time for
Get your
Saberwolf.
GGs to the chat.
So our winners are... Oh, this is the wrong person. So team left beats team right. I feel like I'm in a Twix commercial.
Left Twix.
Congratulations,
kind of
David and
person.
Honey.
GG's.
Congratulations, left team. So what did you think of the co-op here? The times are a little bit on the slower side, which is interesting because normally you'd think if you're working together it'll be faster, but do you think it was sort of an information overload type of situation, guys?
Definitely not. First, want to shout out extra-life.org.
Very nice. Thank you for your hard work there.
Oh yeah, this I think in the last month or so I played over 50 seeds. If this isn't the hardest seed, it's definitely in the top 3. It was just a legitimately hard seed.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, looking at it from our perspective, obviously we didn't get to go into the minutia of actually playing it, but there weren't great spells other than I think Bolt 3 showed up towards the end, and I think there was an Ultima on one of the espers that one of the players on the right team found. And you didn't get Throw Setzer until much later on in the seed. And Cyan was a little bit late for your sword tech users, right? So
yeah, I enjoyed the part where I had to sword tech 1 down Doom in Belt Cave.
Oh
yeah, the boss. Yeah, that's what me and Sonic were saying as well. That the bosses in the early going were just atrocious.
The
now
ogre
I got rid of my
marshals,
double
especially.
audio.
Yeah, the Ogre and Marshall fight will give Saberwolf PTSD for the rest of his days.
You know, anytime I do a gosh darn restream, why do I have the bad luck, yo?
Always.
Stop double zombo. Stop double zombite. Stop. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But, you know what? Curse turned into a blessing because I ended up with Setzer, who ended up with... I ended up with Cyan, who gave me the sword tech for Strago. I had Strago with strength +2 for the majority of the game. He ended up with 90 vigor, was dropping 12k bombs at the end, and that actually turned into Setzer, which gave me the throw, and that gave me 3 espers, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Setzer's checks were great this seed.
So that put me right back in the game, and also parlayed me into the shortcut, because thanks to Honey with the communication, we had a leader with the esper that I needed to finish up the espers, so I could do the Opera House shortcut, mid lane, Kefka's Tower to catch all the way back up again. So I went from behind, I want to say I was behind 16, 20 minutes to end up only being 7 minutes behind, 7 to 8 minutes behind at the end. So that was a huge. So Setzer saved the game for me.
Yeah, that was definitely the optimal route through the seed for sure. Just based on like the outside looking in. So, Honey, you said that this seed was quite difficult. What were some of the parts that you just were slogging through in your particular run?
Yeah, aside from having the sword tech 1 down at Doom, which I guess I didn't have to do that, but I was being greedy. I didn't want to break my flame shield because of Merton. But then I realized, oh wait, there was Thunder Shields and World of Balance Figaro, so I could have broke the flame shield and mimicked it. So that was a misplay by me. That fight could have been like 4 or 5 minutes shorter if I just mimicked the flame shield a bunch. Actually had a good fight against Marshall and Ogres, because, well, first of all, I already knew they were there because of the information.
Yeah.
I was jealous of you. I'm jealous.
But yeah, you can't save before that fight. When you get your corals, once you get your 22 corals, you can save and you get to keep them.
Yeah.
So like I did that, and my plan was, okay, I'm gonna Tritalk and mimic Tritalk, and even if I get zombie, the summons are still gonna hit the enemy units, even if you're zombied. So I just have to get the command in before the zombies go off.
We thought we were like, this is a disaster. What is happening here? And that's Ultima from Senor Behemoth on the bottom screen as well.
Yeah, that's some great game knowledge there, Honey. We totally thought that the next time he mimicked it, it would have wiped the party.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, both of the guys was zombied for the Tritox, but it was like, nah, they gonna hit the other guys.
Yeah, see, you learn something new every time you watch a Worlds Collide race, ladies and gentlemen.
So that went according to plan. They didn't get experience on the zombie characters, but I was doing it for the team, like just to peek what was behind it.
Yeah. So speaking of, knowledge beforehand, Saberwolf, you want to talk about Doomgaze?
Yeah, so knowledge beforehand, he told me where all the bosses were.
Yep.
But I didn't look to see what levels I was. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna throw grandpa and grandchild in the mid because that's my Merton sword tech, and I can get both Magi Master and Doomgaze that way. So I'm like, I'm just gonna throw them there. I didn't look at the levels.
It
So
was
I'm
really
like,
interesting,
what?
Saber, because we were looking at all the levels as everybody was progressing, and I had just noticed that you were level 40 going in, and Swanson was laughing. I had completely forgotten Doomgaze was right there.
Well, I knew Doomgaze was there. I just didn't look at the levels. So I took that one fight. Luckily, it was whatever it was, a bunch of chimeras or whatever.
Yeah.
And that gave me the one level I needed. So I was like, okay, fine. That wasn't too bad of a reset because I was like already there. So and both fights were quick. Like I think I killed Doomgaze in 2 turns. I killed Magi Master in like 3 turns. And then I already knew left lane was who was in the left lane?
Behemoth.
Yeah, Behemoth's left lane. I threw Shadow Go there because that was my Merton to get rid of that because he's weak to fire. Which kind of sucked when I mimicked the Merton on Go and it didn't damage him because he shapeshifted there to his second form, so it didn't hit him.
Yeah.
And then the last lane was Ultros 1, so all I had to do was just, and Setzer was my weakest party member by far, so I just threw him over there and said, yeah, you can just deal with him. So yeah, good knowledge on that last part there, just didn't look at the levels.
Yep. So how chaotic was, I guess, the early game with you guys just yelling at one another what you found in chests and things like that? Did that sort of make it difficult, or did you have to cut through the noise somehow?
I think we had a pretty solid plan. We was like talking it out in a voice chat before we started, and yeah, we kind of felt like doing different sounds to begin with anyway, so we kind of just do what we did in our normal runs. I'm a North starter, he's a World of Ruin Figaro starter, so kind of just did our normal stuff, and we shouted out the esper stuff and what a couple of the shops said. But it wasn't too complicated.
Nah, it wasn't too complicated at all. We just shouted out the important things like, hey, there's Atma weapon, secret passage, returners. Like, just the important information. Like, he told me, like, none of the chests are any good in the Zone Eater, or whatever it was. There was no good chest in there, so I could just skip all the chests and don't have to bother even looking at them. So just big, important pieces of information on just where major stuff was.
Yeah, some of the best information isn't what is there. The best information is what isn't there. Because they just going in towns and going like, okay, item shop's dead, relic shop's dead, weapon shop's dead. This whole town's dead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all the chests in this whole dungeon dead. Like, it's like very useful information.
Yeah, like earrings in Elbrook. So he knew to go to Elbrook for the earrings, even though I think every single relic shop, except for World of Balance Figaro, had earrings in it, I think. So really
I might have got it in Zen.
Yeah.
Oh, Shadow's still looking at both Zen Thieves and they were the same price.
Yeah, that was lame.
I think it was like 44 and 40. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was 41 and 40. Yeah, it was like 1,000 difference.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'm gonna. Do you want me to check the World of Ruin price before you buy it? And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna sell all my stuff, buy it. I'm never coming back to this town. And
yeah,
luckily it ended up being fine because it was the same price in Otherworld.
Oh, so he's just doing. Oh wow, so they're actually a full 15 minutes behind.
Yeah, there was some. I think Workin lost a couple of. He lost an entire burning house from not saving, and I think Yakko Wacko lost a lot of time with going to the auction house, and there's something. Uncursing the curse shield.
Did they go floating continent? Because I could not find time to fit floating continent in.
Yes, Floating Continent was 2 espers and an offering.
Oh, so there's the offering for Atmo Weapon. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
But
offering
you couldn't
was
break
at
through that
Atmo Weapon
early
spot
game.
too.
Well, it got to the point where early game when I died so many times at Ebbets Rock and at Ebbets Rock really, and so I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna go Floating Continent. Let me just check Floating Continent and see if it's any good. And it was 2 horrible bosses. So I was like, okay, we're not going to Floating. So we both made a decision. We're not doing Floating Continent. We're just gonna do other things. The
Yeah,
only
I think that was the exact time, like at that exact moment. That's when I found Realm at Fanatics. So I was saying, like, okay, just go get Realm right now. You can recover. Realm will fix any seed. Realm's a correct character.
yeah,
Like, just go get Realm.
but the only thing that stunk is that our mid game was split because he went Mog, I went Realm into Cyan.
Mhm.
So our paths completely split, and we didn't come together until towards the end of his side of his run, where it's like, hey,
Yeah, I needed that
Haunted
Cyan,
Castle there.
the Dome of Dream
Yeah,
to get
Dream.
Setzer to catch up on the Magisates, and I
Yeah.
hit 21 checks like right on the button by following the information that you gave me.
Yeah, so I told him get Setzer because it's all espers, and he did the dream, which also gave him the sword tech too. So
Needed that flame shield also, so that was a
Yeah.
cleanly timed.
yeah,
With
4
the
flame
pre-scouting.
shields, man. 4 flame shields.
Well,
And a Merton seed, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I had one. I was jealous of your seed.
Mwah.
Yeah, so that was one of the things we were talking, like, strategy wise. If one person finds a character, do they immediately go do all those characters checks to let your other partner know, hey, if you go pick up this character, here's what's in store for you? And I think we saw that on your side for sure.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was also
so
trying to do the ones he's furthest away from. Like, he was nowhere remotely close to Fanatics Tower, so like that was a good scout. And
Ooh.
like he was doing Ebbets, so I was like, okay, let me get away from the Thamasa area.
yeah. Sonic, you got any other questions for our runners here?
I was to say, all in all, what were your impressions of this, and do you recommend us doing more of it in the future?
I know personally I had fun. It was something I always had in the back of my mind to do someday. Like I think me and Mogulplex talked about doing it once, and yeah, there's always one of those things that's had in the back of my mind. So it was nice to finally sit down and do it, because you theory craft in your head how it's gonna work so many times, but theory crafting all day isn't the same thing as actually sitting down and doing it. So it was nice to finally get to do it, and I'm down to do it again someday. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for putting on the race, and thank you for commentating.
Yeah, this is not the first time I've done like a dual race before. I mean, I've done it with I think I did it with Duck once, and I did it with like a couple other people. I think I actually did it with you maybe once too, honey.
I
And
think we did it with Fitz on a restream one time.
yeah,
That's
and
what I remember.
I actually kind of enjoy it because it does give you a different dynamic, and it makes it more teamworky, which is one thing that this kind of, I guess, you kind of miss in the randomizer, because it's always like I'm 1v1 or I'm 1v 5. It's like you're always like by yourself. It's not really a team game, but when you do stuff like this, or even spoiler log, like do like a giraffe seed spoiler log, something like that, it makes it more team orientated. And it's something I've really been wanting to do, like community wise, even like maybe even do a tournament, like kind of like this, where you can pair people up and go that way. So I don't know how it would work in the tournament, because
I got dibs
pairing
on Falcon
people
Head
up.
as my partner.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like whoever gets Falcon hit, like I'm gonna team with Falcon hit. It's kind of like you have to randomize the partners or something, or you may not want to do that because somebody wants to play with somebody else. And I mean, that's just something we'd have to figure out as a community. So
I have some ideas on that, actually.
oh gee, well I think
I-
the next tournament I
ahead.
believe is Coliseum, right? After this Ultros League season.
Well, we don't know what it is yet. I've put forth a co-op event proposal where it's basically you get a partner, but you rotate partners it's a 9-week long event, and you rotate partners every 3 weeks.
Oh,
So you get to have you get to get paired up with more than one person. And I think, to avoid sort of the the stacked team situation, we're gonna have basically like an A pool and a B pool, and based on like what do you call it?
Average time.
Yeah. So we'll do like 3 qualifiers and whatever your Z score is, split it down the middle. The top half goes in Group A, the bottom half goes in Group B, and then obviously if it's going to be co-op, you need to be available at certain times with your partner. So the seeding and the partnership will be based on when your availability is, and partner up with someone from the opposite pool. So this way you do get a little bit of a balance between teams, but there's also like a mentor-mentee aspect to it a little bit too. So some of the newer runners will get paired with a faster runner or a more veteran runner. And the way I have it shaped up now is for the 3 weeks, the first week is a static like flag set, and it's going to be a bit longer than the usual because you are doing co-op, although with these times maybe not. maybe it's one of those things where you don't need a harder seed, right? So first week will be normalized, and then the second week I'm going to do it in a living seed style where one team gets to pick up to 3 flag changes. So you get the base set of flags, you pick 3 that you could change. So 2 flags you can change, and you can add, remove, or alter 1 objective. So you do that for the next 2 weeks, and you basically do a co-op of the other 2 weeks, right? So that sort of was going to be my idea for whatever the next event is. That I have it all written up. I have it submitted to the moderation team. We'll see what they have to say. So very nice. But yeah, also it's going to be one of those things where, again, you and your partner will have to be on the same time zone schedule, right? So if I'm saying, oh, I can only do things late at night, and Saberwolf, you're like, yeah, late night doesn't work for me, then I obviously couldn't be partners with you because then we'd never run the same seed at the same time.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's the idea anyway. So if you guys like it and it sounds like you do, I'm also open to suggestions too, obviously. I've thought about it a little bit, but I don't know how I'm going to score the thing. I don't know if we're going to do playoffs. I don't know any of that. So
sounds like a nightmare to put together, but if you pull it off, it'll be legendary.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be enjoyable.
By the way, shout outs to Yakko for he got trained and he immediately did Unicorn to fix the train.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah. I always grab Unicorn into the fight with me, and I almost never use it, so I'm glad to see it actually getting used there.
Yeah, you gotta wear a ribbon with it or you're gonna forget.
Yeah, it's a great combo.
I always forget who has it, and then I'm like, oh, I have to echo screen them and then cast Unicorn.
Nice,
yeah,
KW. Nice
it works
job.
where it's if you have like a character for it that's doing no damage at all, just put a ribbon on them and have them be designated Unicorn guy. But without the ribbon, it's like it never like pays off really.
Yeah, because then you got to do 1 echo screen and then then the Unicorn. Anyway,
But yeah, I'm gonna hop off so y'all can call this last fight. But I appreciate y'all.
It's all good. No, I was going to ask you guys one more question before you went.
Okay.
If you were doing the seed on your own, do you think you would have gotten a faster or slower time, and why? First, Honey.
Probably about the same. I think I would have went Ebbet sooner, and I don't know. It's such an RNG fight. I would have said if I could beat Marshall blind on the first try, I'd be faster.
Oh yeah.
But if I would lose to him on the first try, then I'd be slower.
Yeah. Sure.
That's kind of the deciding factor.
Yep. And then Saberwolf.
Also, I might have went Floating Continent if I was on my own. And you say Floating Continent was loaded, so it's like if I would have struggled through that, I would have got some stuff.
It was 2 espers and 1 offering, but there were some. Toilet Atma was the first boss. I don't remember what the second one was, but the bosses weren't fun. I know Vargas was one of the bosses. I don't remember which one.
The second boss was Haydn the Haydnites.
Oh, that's right.
Wiped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so depending on Ebbets and Floating Continent, that would determine whether I'm faster or slower.
Yep.
But on average, probably about the same.
And then Saberwolf, what do you think?
Extremely slower.
A lot slower.
A
Okay.
lot slower because I was hitting my head against the wall, and if it wasn't for Honey saying, "Hey, I'm gonna check Magi. I was gonna check Magi Tower. It's Realm, and it's an easy fight. I think it was like Tunnel Armor or something like that.
It was piranhas.
Or Piranhas. It was something easy. And so because of that, I'm like, okay, maybe I can get back in this game now, and having to do that, and then getting Cyan at the Esper Mountain and going that path is what put both of us like through the rest of the game. So if it wasn't for Honey saying, "Hey, go do Magi Tower," with Flare, I would not have gotten sub 150 easily.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, as per normal, thank you guys for running and sort of quasi-organizing yourselves, and appreciate you volunteering to be on Restream. Can't have the races without you guys, so appreciate that. And good luck with the rest of the Ultros League this season. I know Saberwolf, you and I are in the same nightmare of a division, so good luck to you.
Yeah.
And
I've had 2 bad times. I'm just going to be open to say that I've had 2 horrible times, but my tune-up session that I did earlier this week, plus I did another seed the next day. Both of them were sub 90s. This was a rough seed anyways, and I had bad luck. I mean, I can't really. I'm not going to look at this time at all. Other than the fact that if I did get through those fights, I mean, I might have been even faster than Honey was overall.
Right.
Because I think I had to have lost at least 10 minutes, at least.
Yeah.
Which would put me at 135. So I actually, minus the whole Marshall bull crap that I had to deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Marshall. I hate you. Oh God, I mean, but yeah, let's go. But anyways, that's somebody talking. Let's cheer on KW getting through Magi Master for I think this is 6th attempt now. Let's cheer on.
This fight is brutal. You guys had I don't want to say relatively easy, but you guys were able to get through it with a combination of Merton and Sword Tech and Bahamut. So
that was
what got me through it was the Minerva. The Minerva carried that fight.
Yeah,
you had the Minerva on Strago, right?
Yeah,
and you were Sword Tech 7.
Yeah, we both had Minerva on Strago, but I think I had the 4 flame shields because I picked up extra ones going up the tower. So everybody was healing. So it was an easy run at the end for me. So
yep. Yeah, we just gotta hope that Magi Master continues with either ice or fire spells. Not this.
Can I put something out real quick?
Sure.
Nobody War, are you using a Mac?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just.
Yes.
I'm looking at the OBS and it looks like a Mac. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this?
I mean, it says Mac at the top there. But yeah, so we were so when Nobody War first tried doing the restreaming thing, we were like, is this going to be a problem? Does this Streamlink stuff work on non-Windows machines? Like, how does this all work? And it just so happens that it just does. So that was yeah, which is always nice to see.
It's interesting.
All right, we'll get out of here. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much, both of you. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Till next time. Appreciate you.
All right, catch you later. All right, and that is Magi Master down. So we had Ogar Marshall as the thorn in the side of Team Left, and Magi Master the thorn in the side. Well, for everybody, but for Team Right, Magi Master just sucks. Screw Magi Master.
He does. Unless you have that Berserk ready to go, he can be a slog.
Yeah. Or as Honey was pointing out, the Minerva was the MVP in that fight because that basically nullifies all of Magi Master's attacks until he gets to that bio mute Doom phase that he's got.
Oh yeah, and he's taken me down from a double Doom before, very sadly. Something you're not really ready to handle, Mag Master. You usually hope he's down way before that.
Yeah, I mean, it is on like either the 4th or 5th turn, so there is time to take him down, but he also has a ton of HP, lots of defense, so it's one of those crazy things.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what he decides to go with for his final party here. I would imagine that we're going to get both Go-Go and Strago with the sword tech. So interesting thing about the offering and Ragnarok. So this is a bit of a teachable moment here. So the Ragnarok, the offering will not give you any critical hits. So the special proc that allows you to get double damage for both the Illumina and the Ragnarok, that goes away with the offering. So you're essentially, instead of doing double damage to one target, you're doing, the same amount of damage but spread out over 4 targets. So it's almost never advisable to use an offering with either an Illumina or Ragnarok, because you're doing the same amount of damage, but you're just not being able to target it, and you're splitting it up amongst multiple targets, which is not a good thing in the Kefka fight, right? Because there's multiple tiers that have multiple targets.
That's correct, because the offering automatically reduces your damage by like 25%, right?
Yeah, so what the offering does is it allows you to attack 4 turns at 50% per swing. So on normal, on normal weapons, it's basically like getting 2 times the damage. But since the Ragnarok and the Illumina already do a crit for 2 times the damage, you're just doing the same thing, essentially. So. All right. So let's see what the party looks like here. Again, if the person in the 4th slot will go first on tiers 2, 3, and 4. So I like to usually put, my person that's going to mute magic or take care of stuff with instant death there. So.
And we were showing Yako's time was 153.41 to 205.50, so that's looking like a 12:09. So everybody's had a rough Kefka fight. They've all been 10 minutes plus.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we only have fire 2, right? We only have ice 2. So those are the big elemental weaknesses of Final Kefka. We do have access to instant death, but we didn't have mute for some of our runners, I believe. And we also have a lot of non-targetable damage here with sword tech and with this blitz that you see from Realm. I didn't realize that Realm had blitz. That makes Realm even more valuable. But yeah, so that's what happens when you get non-targetable damage. Sometimes you just have to deal with more annoyances. So
very true. And luckily, we dodged a slip hit. Strago. So that'll help out throughout the fight.
Yeah, so interesting using Airblade. So nice heads-up play here. Airblade is wind damage, and that long arm is actually weak to wind, so that's why you saw it doing, twice as much damage as it was prior to having the long arm be dead anyway. And with Sword Tech 5, essentially that's basically like you can't kill those Sword Tech users unless you one-shot them. So. And then we got Setzer with Throw, which always helps.
I'm wondering, with Strago's low sword tech, if Christopher didn't put the strength +2 esper on Strago.
Yeah, that must be the case because we saw it doing a lot more damage with some of our other runners, right? So stats, we always say in Worlds Collide that levels matter much more than stats, right? And maybe that's the case that they were at higher, the other players are at higher levels too. But if you get one of the Esper stat bonuses from the very beginning of the game, if you get up to like 90 vigor, as Honey put it, then that matters. That certainly matters.
Well, here we go. We got tier 1 down. Only took about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So that's not too bad. With the rough defense or the offense that we have. But as you pointed out, I don't think there's a mute. So this could get a little hairy here if Magic goes on a rampage.
Yeah, Magic just... he may kill you with some of his spells if you're on, low HP, but he's just super annoying more than anything. He just wastes time, because every time he goes, he casts a spell that usually targets your entire party, and that just eats up animation time. It's just awful. Yeah, so we're going to use Cleave here to take out Tools, who's weak to instant death. So there goes Tools, and our strongest AoE attack right now seems to be Airblade from Realm, doing that wind damage. We do have Setzer with a ton of shurikens, though.
I did see him hovering over Ultima before, thinking like he was going to cast it, but then realizing that the MP cost would be just too great.
Yeah. Well, you know what? One of the interesting things about having Sword Tech is that Sword Tech will not only refill your HP, but it also refills MP. So since we have Go-Go, and Go-Go learns the spells of everybody else in your party, so we could be seeing, Go-Go using Ultima and then using Sword Tech 5 to refill on MP, and so on and so on. So that's one of the things I've been doing with Ultros League Season 5, is if I do get an Ultima spell, if I have a Sword Tech user, I make sure I teach my Sword Tech user that Ultima spell, and they will use it in conjunction with Sword Tech 5 to refill your MP. Sure, you got to waste a turn using Empowerer, but that's still at least effective for using the Ultima spell.
It's a very good strategy, Schwantz. I never thought of it that way.
It still costs time because Ultima is one of the slower spells in the game, but it is certainly an answer for a lot of sticky situations if you get into those sort of problems.
Very true, especially if your Sword Tech user has a really nice MP, because then he's refilling enough MP to cast Ultima again rather than having to take multiple turns to refill the MP pool. It's definitely a good strategy.
Yeah, because the only other way to do it without using a consumable, right, is to use Osmose, which is a spell that you may or may not get all the time, right? So
yeah, very true. Or getting really lucky and finding a Soul Saber, but even then, that's a slog, getting all your MP back with attacks from a Soul Saber.
All right, so let's see what we've got here. I think Life 3 was cast onto Tiger, which is awful. Because that means we're going to have to kill him after killing him one time.
We could hope that we have a Natural Magic Dispel somewhere hiding in the back pocket.
Yep, and here's more of Magic wasting time with casting Rasp.
Now, Flare Star, that's done by Tiger, correct?
It might be magic. I don't think I've ever seen Flare or Flare Star.
Flare Star.
Yeah, Flare Star is from Tiger. So that will do damage based on your level, not based on the magic power of, the boss. So that's why that attack can be either not a big deal or really, really bad, depending upon, how high your levels are and who or what, rather, the Flare Star targets.
Yeah, I always wondered why Flare Star sometimes dealt so much damage.
Yeah, so if you're like in Kefka's Tower, for instance, and somebody casts Flare Star on your party and you have, your level 10 meat shield and you have your really strong, level 40 character, if Flare Star decides, I'm going to do it based on the level 20 person, then it's not that big of a deal. Whereas in Final Kefka, all of your characters are going to be at pretty high levels, so therefore it's pretty bad.
And Flare Star, if I remember correctly, is just fire based. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is fire based. So if you have flame shield or fire resistance or anything like that, you'll take less damage in that case. So that's nice to know, because if you have, Rage Ring, right? We were talking about that earlier.
It's very true. And I believe Poltergeist also uses Flare Star, right? As well as Atma?
Yeah, so with the way that scaling or elemental scaling works in Worlds Collide, bosses that would cast fire spells in their script can scale up to Flare Star if, it's high enough level.
Gotcha.
In the vanilla game, I think it was, just some of the more end game bosses. All right, so here's tier 3. So we had Golem, I think, accessible, and I know that we found Fenrir, but that was down a rabbit hole. Wasn't Fenrir down a rabbit hole, or was that one
Fenrir
of our...
was, I think, Search the Skies.
Okay. Yeah, so Workin might actually have it. I don't have his tracker up here. Normally I do, but now that we're at the end of the game, I usually don't keep the tracker up because I have all the info that I need. So we want to get Girl down first, because Girl will both heal and revive the other parts of the boss. And then that other part's got 40,000 HP and will death counter with instant death. So we have to have something that will block a instant death physical, which is why, coincidentally, Safety Bit and Memento Ring don't work, because those only work on instant death magic spells. So it's a little wonky like that. So taking a look at his tracker, he does have Search the Skies done. So Search the Skies, if it did reward Fenrir, we will see it come out at some point here for Calmness Protection.
And so hopefully we'll be hearing our 4th Moon Song here shortly. I kind of lost track of the damage. I think we're about somewhere between 15 to 20. It's hard to remember how much the Pearl Wind healed for, around like 3,000.
Yeah, so Pearl Wind will heal for as much damage as as...
Oh, we hit the Meteor phase, so at least we passed Train.
Alright, so now we have to deal enough damage to get past the 10,000 threshold. So that's why we see... Yeah, that's why we see him queuing up some very powerful attacks here. So the one good thing about having Blitz is that Mantra will actually clear all of the bad status ailments from Train. Unfortunately, Setzer goes down here, and Gogo and both Gogo and Strago already have their attacks queued up, and Fenrir was not cast as well. So we're going to lose Setzer and Gogo heading on up to Final Kefka. I think he could still probably pull this off with these two characters, but it's going to be a little bit more of a slog because he's gone from 4 damage dealers down to 2 here.
And I'm not sure if he just put his first 4 in. I don't know if he actually set up his 5th and 6th characters or if he just hit start. So he might not have exact. Oh, he did. He did. He got his character that I replaced earlier, Shadow, and he got the earlier Scion that he. So at least he doesn't have Joe Gaw there. Though Capture could have stolen a Mega Elixir.
Yeah, that would be nice for the Fallen one here. But remember, since all of our runners had to take out Magimaster, we got ourselves a Mega Elixir for free, essentially. So we don't necessarily need to steal one here from Kefka. All right, so this makes perfect sense. Going to use our damage dealers to deal our damage, and then use some of our meat shields here to heal up the rest of our party.
I wonder if he already used his Mega Elixir since he's heal forcing. It looks like he might Mantra. No, he's just air bleeding. So do you know the HP range in which Kefka will counterattack with Train?
Yeah, so if you get under 30,000 HP, you get either Havoc Wing or Hyperdrive or Train.
Gotcha.
I think he does Train as just a normal turn and not necessarily a counterattack.
Okay.
Let's find out. In FF6 Worlds Collide. Oh god. Quad 9 Havoc Wing there. FF6WorldsCollide.com. If you go to our wiki, there are guides, and in one of them is a Monster Scripts FAQ from Game FAQs. So let's take a look. Here we go. So Meteor is under 10,000 HP, regular turn, otherwise Goner. Here's Goner. Okay. Havoc Wing or Train or Revenger. So those are the normal turns. And the that can happen up to 2 times, right? Per turn. Then you could do Fallen 1 or Fire 3 or Train or Havoc Wing or Ice 3 or Bolt 3. So that's like when he has more HP, he'll do those attacks. Less HP, he just starts doing Havoc Wing or Train or Revenger for his normal turns. And counterattacks are Havoc Wing and the other one.
Hyperdrive, right?
Yeah, Hyperdrive, thank you. I was like, what the heck is that other name? Alright, so it's just Strago against the world here. Let's hope we do not get a Havoc Wing, and we hope we do not proc in crazy counterattack. Oh, there's Havoc Wing. Yeah, that is just oof. You hate to see that happen.
Yeah, that hurts the stomach right there. Kefka was very unrelenting there. It's Christopher.
Yeah, so one of the things that you would want to do is after Goner comes off, take the time to heal up your party without, poking the bear, if you will, because every time you attack Kefka, he will counterattack with something, and normally it will kill one person. If you have only one person left, then that's kind of a problem. All right, so we're going to get another go here from Mr. Warkin, and we'll see if he's got better luck this time here.
Really hoping for the best for him.
All right, we're setting up the party again, making sure that we got our 4 characters that we want.
And I did see Dispel on multiple characters there, so
Okay.
I'm hoping he notices it this time for if we see a Life 3 come out for Magic.
Yeah, that's a great call. I didn't even think about that. You can use Dispel to basically negate the positive status aspects of the bosses. I always think of Dispel as, something to help out my own team, right? And I usually don't think about, hey, I could clear a good enemy boss status. So that's something to always think about. So good call there.
Thank you very much. And you hate to see the reverse polarity first turn from tier 1, and then punch Strago right in the face right afterwards. Very brutal.
It's just plain annoying. Because basically it just means you're wasting your first turn putting your characters back into the right row that they're supposed to be in.
Now, from your experience, I would say from my experience, he does it about like 30 to like 40% of the time. He doesn't do it half the time, and it's not all the time. So, in your experience from playing this, is there a trigger that makes him do it? Because I've been trying to figure out what causes it to trigger.
Let's find out.
I could also never tell which body part is enacting the move.
Yeah, so that is, I believe, the head. Well, let's see here. Face, first tier. Okay, here we go. Ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Thank you again, Schwantz, for pulling up the handy dandy script.
Yeah,
guide.
so I'm gonna post this in the chat. So I learned last time that actually magnitude 8 is something that the face can cast. So the first turn it is reverse polarity or nothing or nothing.
Interesting. So yeah, 33% of the time.
Yeah, so it is 1/3 of the time on the first turn.
Okay, so
he'll do that.
So if
And
you
then
get really lucky,
afterwards, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So if you get really lucky, you should spend your first 3 turns fire 3ing the head to skip reverse polarity altogether. Or
yeah, so it will do R polarity with less than 10,000 HP, but it's also in the same script as Dread or Magnitude 8. So you are very rarely going to see it when Face has lower health. How much health does Face have? Let's find out. We could do these things now while we're waiting for tier 2 to come up. Very nicely done. And then that's Magic being annoying as per usual. Okay, how much HP? He's got 30,000 HP. So basically, you got to kill off 20,000 HP in order to get into the phase where he's doing Dread or Slip Hit or Magnitude 8 or another R polarity again.
Okay.
Yeah, so first turn, reverse polarity. Second turn, split hit. Third turn, he could do reverse polarity again. And then he'll go back to the beginning again after that. And then if he's under 10,000 HP, he doesn't do R polarity until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th turn. So it's pretty crazy. So once you get him under 10,000 HP, if you kill him very slowly somehow, then you'll get the R polarity again. So it usually happens on either the first turn or the third turn, right?
So
And
you
that's
really
why,
just have to hope to RNGesus that you get the 66 that he does nothing.
right? Yep. And then deal enough damage to him on the first and second turn to get into the 10,000 HP threshold script part of it.
I don't know if my memory serves me correctly, but I think Tiger froze the same two people again. Was it Gogo and Setzer last time?
Yeah, I don't remember, but that spell, that N cross or S cross rather, is a fire spell, so that will unfreeze the characters that are frozen at least. Thanks, Tiger. Appreciate that. Yeah, so Tiger will start getting really nasty under 11,500 HP. That's when he starts doing Doom Tusk and Flare Star, and oh no, he will do Flare Star on the second turn, or N cross or S cross.
And then his third turn, he starts to get out of control, right? Like
it's only when he's under 11,000 HP. That's when he starts doing Doom Tusk. That's the nasty stuff. He actually does nothing. He does. Oh no, he's right.
And you just called it too.
Yep. So now we know that at least Tiger is low on HP. So we can use our ice spell because he is weak to ice. It's weird because on his first turn he does absolutely nothing. Then the second turn it's either S cross, N cross, or Flare Star. Third turn is nothing, and then fourth turn is battle or nothing. And then you go back to the beginning. So he's doing nothing for a lot of turns.
So it's better to just, if you can't kill Tiger right off the bat, it's better to focus on tools and magic then, and then focus on Tiger than hit.
Well, you still get that second turn where you get Flare Star or N cross or S cross, which depending upon, how lucky or unlucky you are with N cross, right?
Very true, because you could technically take Tiger down first turn.
It'll be hard. I think Tiger's got 40,000 HP.
Oh, is it 40?
I think it's 40. Let's double check.
Oh no, Magic just did a bolt 3 to the whole party and took out 3 of them.
Magic, you could go to heck.
Oh, if only he had Saberwolf's 4 flame shields.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, it wouldn't have helped with Bolt 3.
Oh, very true.
Oh, you are right. Okay, 30,000, not 40,000 for Tiger. Here you go. Magic is the one with 40,000. Yeah, 41,000.
This is a little nail biting here, Schwantz, let me tell you.
Well, listen, you just take it nice and slow. You claw back into it. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it looks like I think Magic is the only part left at this point, right? Because I know 10 hits came out. I know we got rid of tools. Yeah, so only one part. So one of the interesting things with this tier especially that I notice is if you get yourself into a really big hole, it might sometimes be better to kill one of the parts of this boss and then dig yourself out. Because if you try and dig yourself out, then you just have additional parts of the boss attacking you more and more and more and more, right?
And who do you think is the last one that's best to keep alive when you're trying to recover?
Hit.
I would say so too.
Because he only does one physical attack per turn until he dies. So he's not really a big deal. All right. He gets through it with all of his party members up.
All right, so now we just have to hope that they don't open up with a Merton opener.
Yeah, so Merton will definitely kill Realm and Setzer, but I think Strago has the Flame Shield, so he'll be fine.
Oh no, did I jinx them?
You know, as commentators, we are obliged to curse our runners at least once a seed, so congratulations, Sonic. You have just done it.
I was really hoping for just a Pearlwind no-turn opener.
All right, so let's see what we got here. I'm hoping that we get one of Realm and Setzer back up.
I'm wondering if he's gonna try to take out Girl first.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, back to, as I mentioned my point earlier, right? Sometimes you got to kill parts of the boss, and Girl is going to continue to heal everything until you start killing it. Only has about 3,600 HP left at least. So some well-timed and well-placed hits will definitely do it. This might do it here. Not quite. Oh, no.
Oh no.
What a bully.
I've never seen that basic attack.
Yeah, so Sleep will sometimes do a physical attack, and that only gets really dicey if you've used Golem, because Golem will block damage for the amount of HP that you have. So if your character casts Golem and doesn't have a lot of HP, and then Sleep uses the physical attack on his turn, then your Golem will go away before it has the chance to protect you from Calmness. So that's when the physical attack becomes a real big problem in this fight. I'm not quite sure if Girl is dead yet, but we'll see.
I think you just saw that happen on last week's restream, didn't you?
That might have I don't quite remember.
Or I think it was a double Calmness that did it. Broke the first Golem. It's the first time I ever saw that.
So since Calmness is technically zero damage physical special, if you have Golem up and it blocks one, it'll block both of them. But Fenrir is one that might get cleared upon cast. All right, so now that we have Girl down, it's time for our runner to get everybody else back up again. So I like that strategy there.
Oh, and he got the Fenrir out this time too. Very nice.
All right, so now we have to go here and see exactly how much damage we're doing with our crew. That's a nice Ragnarok throw at our runner, at our enemy rather. Here comes Meteo. We'll see if Setzer survives that. That is not going to be a surviving for Setzer. Let's see if this damage here, it's going to be a little bit over 5,000, is enough to pull through. It is not enough to power through here. And it looks like we're going to use our Mega Elixir now. You might as well. If you want to use it and get your whole party back, this is fine. It's not a bad idea to use that Mega Elixir to heal up your party to avoid the Meteo. Because remember, even though we might want to use it on the next phase of Kefka, if you don't get there, you don't get to use it, right?
Very true.
All right, so this should do it and push them into Calmness, and we've got Fenrir on everybody but Setzer, and a double miss.
Very nice.
All right, so now, with the entire full party intact, I believe we're going to have a better shot this time around.
And what's really good, too, is Strago didn't even lose his image on either of those Calmness hits, so Like, this was just a brutal tier every time he double calmed this too, which is very rare to see.
All right, so Kefka coming down here. Again, we have to get 30,000 HP off of Kefka in this first turn in order to bypass the Fallen One phase. We'll see if that's on the cards for us or not. The other annoying thing is that Sword Tech doesn't pause the ATB, so you might actually get the Fallen One before this third attack here. All right, so here comes the Fallen One.
You called it.
Yeah, it's one of the drawbacks of Sword Tech. We did allow it to not, be so slow with charging, but the charge time is still not 0, right? So, all right, he's gonna have to heal his party here, and it looks like he's gonna do a little cure action.
I would say Kefka's probably around like 25,000, 30,000 damage now.
Yeah, so the bad thing is if we don't go over the threshold, then we get Fallen One again. All right. So now that he's using Havoc Wing, thankfully we have Image Status, which will make that Havoc Wing miss. Which is one of the better... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Will it also dodge Hyperdrive?
No, Hyperdrive's a magic attack. And there goes Go-Go.
And there was my answer.
Yep. Learn the hard way.
Now, I did see a Fire Rod sitting in his deep end of his inventory. Do you think it'd be worth breaking it out?
Certainly, I think I would save it if I end up getting Train on me, or if I think it's my best chance at damage. I would use it on this turn here for Goner, because it's going to be more powerful than just using whatever we were using. Airblade, right?
Yeah, very true. Because Airblade's only doing about 3 to 4, depending.
Yep. All right, so we've got a couple of Sword Tech 5s queued up. That'll both heal us and damage Kefka, which is really nice. So Kefka has a chance of counterattacking any of these with, Hyperdrive or Havoc Wing, but he's being pretty nice for us right now. Oh, there goes the Image Status.
Now, the only thing we really have to worry about now that Strago's down, though, now we really have to worry about the ultimate counter, because no one, maybe Go-Go could survive it.
Yeah, you want to have, usually when it's me, I want to have more than 2,500 HP for Ultima counter. All right, so here comes Goner again. So on this time, just go for it. Hopefully, most of your party will survive the Goner. At least Go-Go and Realm will. Setzer maybe not so much. And there it is. Hell yeah, fam. 249.25 is the final time. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Very nicely done. Get your GGs in the chat.
Way to stick with it. Show that resolve.
Yes, for sure. So we'll see if we can do a quick interview, and then we'll just get the heck out of here if not. So get your GGs in chat. Make sure you go follow our runners. They put on the show tonight for all of us here. being on stream is not always that easy. So let me drag our runner in here. Mr. Warkin, GG's on finishing that seat up. It looks like Yakko may be joining us as well. So congratulations on getting through that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one. I think our other runners and our other team had said that was one of the more difficult seeds that they had to undertake. Do you sort of agree with that assessment there?
That was a rough one to get going in. Especially, me not being as skilled or as experienced as everyone else, kind of just dipping my toes in fairly recently. It was interesting to say the least.
And we're also joined by Yakko Wacko. Congratulations on your finish of this race as well. GG's.
GG's to everybody.
Thank you so much for all the hard work you put in.
Yeah, so I was talking to your partner here and saying that the other team had told us that was one of the more difficult seeds that they had encountered, and I was wondering if you had felt, sort of the same as you were going through it, Yakko.
It was definitely among the harder ones. It wasn't the worst one, but I would definitely agree that it was definitely among the harder ones.
Yeah, so guys, talk to us a little bit about what your strategy was for tackling this in a co-op mode. Did you guys sort of split up and figure, hey, I will tell you what I find, you go do this instead?
Yeah, pretty much. It was very much split up, see what you find, and kind of go from there. We ended up taking very different paths, and we didn't converge much up until it was, hey, what do you need for your last couple of things? Go here, type stuff. We ended up going very different routes.
Yeah, I think that made it very interesting, because I know that Yakko, you went and you got Locke, and you went down that sort of rabbit hole real hard, whereas Christopher Warkin went like a completely different route. You not getting a realm until a little bit later on into the seed. Were you just scoping it out for your partner and just going down the rabbit hole as far as possible there?
Pretty much, yeah. He went with the looting first, and I went with the easy checks first. And I'm just like, okay, this is Behemoth Suit. Don't worry about it. And that's what I was going for. And he was telling me what he was finding in South Figaro and in the Returner's Hideout. Normally, I don't do Returner's Hideout, but as soon as he said Apple Weapon was in there. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, he started with the looting, and I was starting.
No, I think Quay is not coming through, Schwantz.
I'm not saying anything.
No, we're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as he said he found the Yatma in the Returner's Hideout,
I was seeing the green light up. I apologize.
Yeah, so that's one of the cool things about co-op is calling out, that same loot. Oh hey, Atma weapon in hidden chests. Go and grab that, pick that up there. So for this particular seed, I asked the other runners, and I'll ask you guys. I'll ask Warkin, you first. Did you feel that it would have been faster or slower if you had done this sort of on your own versus with a partner?
Honestly, the way we did it, probably about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we converged so much, we diverged so much. It probably would have been a lot faster if I didn't have to redo Burning House, and if I didn't die to Kefka and this, that, and the other, all sorts of just noobish things. But again, that's just a lack of experience and trying to run before I can walk type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the best way to learn things in Worlds Collide is the hard way. I certainly know that all too well. But yeah, so same thing for you, Yakko. If you were just doing this on your own, maybe you wouldn't have gone to a few of the checks that you did, but you also wouldn't have had that game knowledge towards the end, when you needed your espers. Hey, where are my espers, right?
Yeah, it probably would have been about the same. Although I might be second guessing myself on certain things. I think one of the things that kind of held me back was I think I took a few too many battles than I should have, especially because I kept forgetting to put
Would
the
you say
charm
that
back
there are
on.
more pros or cons to this kind of format, Quay?
Coming from the Link to the Past randomizer sphere, I've done a lot of co-ops, so this is very familiar to me. So I see a lot of pros. I think the Ultros League 5 settings aren't quite maybe set up for it ideally, but I think maybe with some tweaks there can be a lot of fun to be had with this.
Very interesting. Good. Do you have any tweaks in mind that you think could make it more beneficial?
I don't know, just because I'm not as familiar with Worlds Collide as I am, say, Free Enterprise or Link to the Past.
Understood.
But I'd love to explore the idea.
Yeah, it does sound very enticing.
Yeah, so one of the ways that we do the multi-world races that we have is, instead of getting, to a number of characters and a number of espers, we pick 3 random characters that you have to find and 3 random espers that you have to find, and sort of do it that way. So maybe something like that could be more interesting in a co-op scenario, where you have to find 2 specific espers and you've got to go looking in the seed for that. And if your partner finds it, you know exactly where to go, because you're going to get to your item, your espers and characters the other way. So that's certainly, one of the possibilities there too. But
That's very
I
interesting,
think that would
Swans.
work.
Yeah, adding an objective for a specific random requirement. That sounds like like how the clue skip is in the draft mode.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
That could be really interesting.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's, go and recruit this character, go and kill this dragon, and, you can enter KT sort of thing. So that could be interesting. But yeah, as you were saying, Yakko, there was a lot of, I know that when you went to uncurse the shield on the Velt, you weren't getting the XP there from the fights. And then there were certain fights where you ran out of Phoenix Downs and you couldn't level your character. So did that affect your route at all as you're going through it?
Not entirely. I think the only thing that mainly that I diverged from what I normally do is that I probably would have done Floating Continent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually thinking about doing it at the end just to get the last 2 espers. But then when I realized I was even closer, I was like, oh, let me try this instead. And then I found a couple of imp robots, and
and fun was had.
Yeah, Minerva Mink walked by and I got distracted, and all that fun stuff. Yeah, one person got it.
Yep. Oh man. All right, so I think we'll probably wrap it up here with just final thoughts. So, Christopher Warken, any final thoughts on the seed or just doing co-ops in general?
I honestly had a lot of fun. I'd love to do more co-ops. I love and kind of help develop the co-op scene. That sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Yeah, in case you're interested in doing sort of like a multi-world co-op, we do have that option available in the Discord here. So go check it out on our website. You can join the Discord and do it. Yakko, you got any other final thoughts on the seed or just co-op in general here?
It's been a long time since I've done a co-op, so I was glad to be able to do another one. Yeah, hopefully I can get on there when the seeds are being, or when the rooms are being opened, and I'm not 5 minutes late like I normally am.
Hey, listen, if you're not late, you're not trying, right? It's all good. So thank you guys so much for volunteering to be on Restream. Can't have the races without the runners, so really appreciate it. Sonic, you got any other questions for our runners here?
No, I just want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to comment on your running. It is much appreciated.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, I think that'll do it for the stream here. Thank you, Sonic, for doing commentary with me. Really appreciate it. Otherwise it's just me sitting here talking to myself for a long, long time. And hey, we learned some stuff today, and that's always fun, right?
Yeah, as they say, if you go a day without learning, it's never the right choice. And I want to thank you again for all your hard work that you put into the community, to getting this all set up. Anybody out there, please come join the community, come draft with us, come enjoy the fun.
Yeah, and we also want to shout out Nobody War for organizing the race, restreaming it, putting it together. Thank you so much for doing that, because now we have content to watch. Yay! Really, really awesome, and appreciate that. And I think that will do it for all of us here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.
Work.